She said, take your time, what's the rush? I said, baby, I'm a dog, I'm a mutt. She said, take your time, what's the rush? I said, baby, I'm a dog, I'm a mutt. I'm a dog, I'm a mutt.
If you got it, it ain't a question. Oh, it ain't no room for guessing. No more than emotionally invested. Showing you all my imperfections. Oh, if I let you, don't take me for granted. Yeah, if I'm worth more than you could manage. Yeah. I wish I could paint our love. Each moment's and vibrant. You look like sunshine, gunplay, sunshine, pedal top, sunshine, sweet dreams, turn it on. Let you go through. I wanna be down. I wanna be down with you. Down with you. It's true. I wanna be down. What are you willing to do? Oh, tell me what you're willing to do. Kiss it, babe.
Turn down. She said, take your time, what's the rush? I said, baby, I'm a dog, I'm a mutt. She said, take your time, what's the rush? I said, baby, I'm a dog, I'm a mutt. I'm a dog, I'm a mutt.
If you got it, it ain't a question. Oh, it ain't no room for guessing. No more than emotionally invested. Showing you all my imperfections. Oh, if I let you.
What's up? Welcome back, everybody. It's your favorite Uncle Moe. Let me take a chance to look out for everybody. Shout outs to everybody that's on Uncle Moe TV. Shout outs to everybody that's over at No Glory True Stories. I see y'all over there. Appreciate y'all. Hit the like button. Wipe your feet off when you step into the crib and say what's up. Like I said, it's your favorite uncle. We gonna start off with just a briefing from Fox 4 on the big beautiful bill. Then we gonna go into certain things. Tonight, main topics we gonna talk about is the Section 8 portion and the SNAP portion. We ain't gonna do a super deep dive. We're gonna save that for another time, or we might go into a super deep dive, but we're gonna talk about some of the reasons why this was even a topic of discussion when it came to this. So, like I said, I appreciate everybody who's tuning in. Now let's get to business.
The House are wasting no time now trying to give a final sign-off on what the Senate passed yesterday, but nothing is certain, and this is already getting heated.
You are not going to come into this room and impugn our integrity.
Some raw nerves on Capitol Hill this morning as Republicans make a final push on the president's so-called big, beautiful bill.
The vice president votes in the affirmative. The bill as amended is passed.
Vice President J.D. Vance had to cast the tie-breaking vote in the Senate yesterday to advance the massive tax cut and spending package that is central to the president's agenda.
Mr. President, good news. The big, beautiful bill just passed in the Senate.
Oh, thank you. Wow. Thank you.
Trump learned of the Senate's action while in Florida.
We had a big day today. The bill passed, and I think it's going to do very well in the House.
But will it do very well in the House? Leaders have scrambled to bring members back to town.
Of course, we have weather delays all around the country, so there's lots of complications, but welcome to Congress. There's always lots of complications.
These phonies on the Republican side of the aisle claim to be fiscally responsible. Get lost.
House Democrats are vowing to fight, but the bigger complication for the GOP may be some fiscally conservative Republicans who want to pump the brakes.
Bottom line is we can't do it in the next few days, but I do believe by next week we can come to an agreement. And again, they're going to be last-minute changes, just the way there were in the Senate.
And if there are some last-minute changes, that could very easily tank the bill's chances of reaching the president's desk by the 4th of July. In Washington, I'm Doug Luzader for Good Day.
Well, the U.S. is halting the shipment.
As you can see, we all know that the bill passed now, and there was some changes, and there was a lot of changes, and there's a lot of people out there scared, saying that they're going to be kicked off of welfare and kicked off of their like benefits, when it was over 940 pages, right? And then another like 1,100, like 100 and some change. It came into like 1,170 pages altogether with the changes and the rebuttals and everything. So most people, most Americans, we did not sit there and read this bill page by page. And I do disagree with writing any bills or proposals for thousands of pages. That means you sneaking stuff in there, in my opinion. I feel like you are when you do that, you hiding the ingredients in there. We get to see the layer of the cake, we see the icing, we see the frosting, we see what you write on top of the cake, but we not getting to see the nitty gritty, the details. And you know they say the devil is hidden in the details. So that's what's going on with that. You know what I mean? But a lot of people are nervous about it, but they don't understand that the tax breaks, like as far as the SNAP go, yeah, some people are going to lose they SNAP benefits, but those are not the people that are bodies that are like have disabilities, older people, and people with young kids or pregnant, nursing mothers. No, those are the willing bodies that's, well, not willing, the able but unwilling bodies that don't want to go out there and work. And even with the working, it ain't like they only got to work 80 hours a month. 80 hours a month, not 80 hours a week, not 80 hours every 2 weeks, which is a normal full-time job. It's 80 hours every 2 weeks. And they just got to work a part-time job, and they don't even got to work a full part-time job. They could go to school. They can even do volunteer work, but they just can't lay at home, you know? They just can't lay at home. I got another video I'm going to pull up for us.
And of weapons pledged to Ukraine. This comes out.
Now, I totally disagree with us keep giving arms over to Ukraine. I think that we need to stop on that.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Will Cain Show. The big, beautiful bill. Man, it's generating a lot of controversy, a lot of debate, a lot of heat, but I think it's also generating a lot of confusion and therefore not a lot of light. Right now at the White House, the Senate Finance Committee is meeting behind closed doors with President Trump on the mega bill. We're going to be watching that to see if those senators have anything to say after that meeting wraps. But in the meantime, what's in the bill? What's not in the bill? Does it increase deficit spending? Does it decrease our deficit? Who's backing down? Who is not? Why is there so much heat? Let's start with that heat and the loudest voices in the room. Elon Musk has gone absolutely scorched earth on the.
So with Elon Musk, he's going crazy over the bill because a lot of the incentive that they gave him and the cuts that they gave to his company, to Tesla, they cut it. They got rid of it with this green bill. They got rid of the great green, like it was what the hell is it called? The Great Green Deal, where they gave all these cutbacks to him for making clean energy vehicles and electrical stuff. In this big bill, they got rid of all of it. So he's pissed off. He done donated a lot to this campaign. He backed up Trump a lot. He did Doge for him, and then he felt like he got slapped in the face, and now he want to fund his own political party to go against all those who voted for the bill. So that's something we're going to cover in the near future too. But in there, like I said, he's pissed off because a lot of the tax subsidies that he had, they're moving it over to gas vehicles in the hope American companies. So if you buy an American vehicle when this come into effect, you get tax leniencies and tax cuts. You get to file all of that on your taxes. So that's what that about. Like, so he's pissed off about that because he invested, into this, and now he feel like he put his time and effort into it, and now boom, you slapped me in the face. You took away, like, you cut my throat after I try to help you, or thought that. I mean, we don't know what the agreement was, what these rich people had going on in the background, but it sounds like he feels like the other end of the deal was not held up. So he's pissed off, and he vowed to pay and fund anybody who goes against the people that went against his energy bill that, cut the funding to his company. So we'll see how that go. I don't know how that's gonna work. We just gotta stand by, But he's definitely pissed off and feel betrayed about that. Which, I mean, we all can understand. You invest millions of dollars into somebody and you think that they gonna look out for you, and they do you what you perceived as being done dirty, Let me get to this joint. Enemy within. Okay, none of your beefs shouted out. Raymond Digger. Elon knew Trump was going to cut the Green New Deal budget. Yeah, but he act like he act like he ain't know that shit. I feel like they had some under the table deal. And yeah, MAGA condom, man. MAGA condom hard. And I feel like, Trump is a businessman. And I feel like somebody came, what they said in Godfather, I'm gonna make him an offer that you can't resist. Somebody made him an offer that he couldn't resist on the other side. And I also feel that part of the things that we're doing as a country is to align us to be more self-sufficient on ourselves and not outside entities, Because right now, these outside entities that we're dependent on, like China, France is our allies, but all these outside entities, we trying to get self-sufficient if something happened. Like you said, Ms. Burgess, there is no honor amongst thieves, and let's make no mistake, both of them, to some extent, are thieves. They take from us regular working class to keep themselves as the elite. They definitely do that. I'm gonna let them finish playing out while I pull up the Green New Deal part of it, where he in it, where he getting rid of them and giving the initiatives. So one thing I do like, but I don't know if it counts for me, is that you get to pay file your taxes that you got on your new vehicles from your loan. The interest, you get to file that on your taxes to get a deductible. But I don't know if that's just American cars, which I need to read in because I got a foreign car, or is it foreign cars that's made over here in America? Because a lot of car companies like Lexus, Mercedes, Honda's building a facility, Volvo, they are made here in America. You know what I mean? Certain parts are imported in, but a lot of them have plants here to build. Honda, like in what's that, Georgia on 85? It's a big ass goddamn what you call it? Hyundai dealer in Alabama and Montgomery, and then it's a big old one right before you transfer into Alabama, not far from Auburn, that's in Georgia off of 85. That's a big Kia plant. So yeah, they definitely trying to bring back manufacturing to America.
Big, beautiful bill. He wrote on X, call your senator, call your congressman. Bankrupting America is not okay. Kill the bill. Now this, as Elon's continuous opposition is throwing House Speaker Mike Johnson for a loop.
Elon and I left on a great note. We were texting one another, happy texts, Monday. And then yesterday, 24 hours later, he does a 180 and he comes out and opposes the bill. And it surprised me, frankly. And I don't take it personal. We don't take it personal. You know, he's policy differences are not personal. I think he's flat wrong. I think he's way off on this, and I've told him as much, and I've said it publicly and privately.
I don't know about you, but I've been doing this for quite some time, and I still think the budgeting process is arcane. So it comes as no surprise that people within the Republican caucus or people within conservative circles have differing opinions on the effects of the.
You're right, it's Hyundai. Yeah, and it probably is only American cars, because like you said, we trying to build back American first. But if that's the case, like I said, I like some American videos, but videos. I like some American cars, but we gotta, these other outside entities for the price was giving us better vehicles. Because you could go buy, let's say, a Suburban. Like I have my eyes on a Suburban. You could go buy a Suburban and 70,000. 2 years later, the thing is only worth 30-something thousand. So they depreciated so fast, it just wasn't worth getting when it was better options out there for less or the same price.
Big, beautiful bill. Let's together dive in and see if we can get some understanding. Here are the components. There are $1.5 trillion in federal spending cuts. The 2017 tax cuts extended permanently. Also eliminates tax on tips and overtime. Importantly, there's border security funding and stricter eligibility requirements for Medicaid. Several other elements as well there in the bill, including stripping states of the right to make laws or regulate AI for something like 10 years, something that has drawn now the ire of Marjorie Taylor Greene in the House. But see, the White
That's my thing with AI, and I must say I do like AI, but, and this is kind of like, y'all gonna look at me crazy when I say this, but if you ever, like, I'm a fan of sci-fi, so if you ever looked at the Terminator and how they got to the stage of where they was at, it all came from, what you call it, it all came from, like, giving all this stuff to machines, and over a while the machines started to take over, and the machines wanted to preserve the earth, and they tried to do what was best for the earth, and they said people was like destroying the earth, and then it like took us over. But anyway, I digress. Let's get back into the topic.
The White House is still touting its main provisions, and they summarize it as follows. Here's Stephen Miller. He wrote, 1, it's the most significant border security and deportation effort in history, including the entire wall up front, now with no possibility of Democrat obstruction. 2, extension, full extension and expansion of the Trump tax cuts. This is what the CBO is scoring, not spending. Tax cuts, the ones we campaigned on. And 3, the largest welfare reform in history, cutting almost $2 trillion in spending. So those are the 3 major selling points, but still some Republicans are not on board with the big, beautiful bill. And why is that? Well, let's take a walk to the wall to see if we can narrow in on the 3 big sticking points among Republicans on the big, beautiful bill. So first of all, much has been touted about cutting back on Joe Biden's Green New scam. Now, this is green energy tax incentives that have been rolled back. These include zero-emission projects that do not begin construction within 60 days and clean energy vehicle tax credits. This has, surprisingly to some, made people wonder, why are Republican senators opposed to the big, beautiful bill? Well, you can take a look. Senators like John Curtis of Utah or Tom Tillis of North Carolina have concerns. And you have to say, what is it about their constituency, at their states, they want to hang on to some of these green energy tax credits? But it's not just green energy. There are cuts to Medicaid. As you heard Stephen Miller respond, Medicaid is one of the biggest reforms in this bill is to entitlement programs and Medicaid in quite some time. There's an estimated $600 to $880 billion in cuts over a decade to Medicaid. How do they do that? You've heard Republicans talk a lot about work requirements, eligibility requirements. Well, more frequent eligibility requirements requiring re-verification every 6 months. But some, like Senator Susan Collins of Maine, and we've heard similar sounds from Senator Josh Hawley from Missouri, are worried. They're trying to figure out what the provider tax reforms are, but she's worried about the effect on rural hospitals in Maine. All right, and then finally, there's how much of a deficit savings actually is there in this bill? Well, according to the CBO, the big, beautiful bill adds $2.4 trillion over the next 10 years. It's $3.7 trillion in tax cuts, and then you take out the spending cuts. Now, this is what Stephen Miller and Mike Johnson are saying is not accurate. They don't like the CBO's accounting, and they don't like tax cuts, which we live under and with right now, counted as contributing to the deficit. This is Mike Johnson.
They use a different scoring. I think their assumptions are wrong. We've long complained about it. The CBO has done some fair work in some areas, but their projection of growth is always off. It's a constant complaint around here, and, it needs to be addressed in some way. We're looking at it.
You heard him say their projection of growth is always off. The Trump administration and
that's true, because you're using scientific guesses and following trend analysis from over a certain amount of times and trying to dictate the market. It's almost like being like financial forecasting, like financial meteorologists, but I'm pretty sure you're more correct than wrong at times compared to meteorologists. But one thing like we all got to realize is all of these cats are getting paid to lobby for somebody's special interest. So a lot of them, it went against their special interests. That's why they're voting against certain things and certain policies. And then all of them are getting a little give and take and poison pills in there for us. And we got to see how it affect us as the normal working class and the American public, all of us, that's the 99% of us. Let's go.
Mike Johnson pointing out they're counting on economic growth due to tax cuts to reduce the deficit. But even with that, Kentucky's Rand Paul told me yesterday he sees the bill as too big to succeed.
To put things in perspective, the bill increases spending for the military and for border over $300 billion. The DOGE cuts, which aren't in this bill, were about $200 billion. So this bill actually increases in the first couple of years spending more than all the DOGE cuts combined. My objection to the bill is they're going to raise the debt ceiling more than they ever have, $5 trillion, and that this will be the largest increase in the debt ceiling ever. And if the Republicans all vote for it, the Republicans will own the debt.
So you heard Senator Paul say he has no problem with the growth projections in the bill. He has a problem with raising the debt ceiling. Let's put that then to a senator who is backing the bill. It is Oklahoma Republican Markwayne Mullin. Senator, thanks for being with us. I think I want to start with the debt ceiling, if we might, together. You heard Senator Paul say that's his big problem, raising the debt ceiling. He points out, and others have pointed out, if the deficit savings, if the deficit reduction is real, why do you need to raise the debt ceiling?
Let's keep it real. In my 43 years of life, and since I've been an adult paying attention to what's going on in this country, they don't give a damn about the debt ceiling, man. They just say that when it's stuff they don't care about, man. They just be printing money. They don't give a damn about no debt ceiling.
Well, it's kind of like buying a failing business, right? My wife and I used to buy companies all the time, and sometimes we'd have to borrow money to purchase a failing company, but we knew the projection. We knew that we could get it into the black while it was in the red, but we had to go over a hump. We inherited a crap show from the Biden administration. They had literally doubled almost every agency's budget in the last 4 years. We're in debt. We can't just simply stop spending that debt and expect that we're going to pay it off all at the same time. We have to borrow the money to get us over the hump to let Biden's policies fade out and Trump's policies increase. We know for sure that when we make tax cuts permanent, when we did this in 2017, CBO said we was going to have a $1.5 trillion deficit, and actually what happened is the economy increased by $1.7 trillion is what we ended up bringing into the Treasury. So we have to borrow to get us past this point. Immediately, those two lines will start closing as we start seeing Trump's policies continue to go into effect. We see the economy come roaring back. We see the manufacturing come back. Right. We see jobs increase. We see wages come home increase. We will start.
It goes back to what I was saying about the cars being built here in America. We trying to bring manufacturing back to America. Like they're slowly bringing it in and giving incentive. That's why when he was doing the tariffs, if you paid attention when he was talking about tariffs on these countries and car manufacturing, it was only tariffs on car companies that don't have plants over here. And like I said, a lot of people ain't know that they had Hyundai, Kia, Lexus, Toyota, because Lexus is Toyota. And now they're talking about Honda building out here too. And he want to put them in more rural communities, which I'm pretty sure property is cheaper. And he don't want them to use old infrastructure. He wants them to build fresh. So that means that's more jobs in the construction industry. That's more growth in us using our own material as far as wood, concrete, electrical stuff. And in this bill, they also added money, and the Pelt grant can go towards clock hours now. Now, the tips for service workers passed. None of this stuff come in first into effect into 2026, but it did pass. It's up to a certain amount that you get the tips on. But if I was making $30,000, right, and then I got $20,000 in tips, but I only have to claim as deductible income $30,000, $20,000 is still a win. Vice $30,000. You know what I mean? Vice the full $50,000. And then for these people crying about the programs they get now, these people that actually work is eligible to collect and to get these joints. I mean, I'm not a Rubik's Cube, like I'm not strong. They said they're not touching the medical for elders and for veterans and for people with disabilities. I'm not behind none of these bills that's 1,000 pages and shit. I feel like you sneaking stuff in on us. It was supposed to be 0. Yeah, but then a lot of these House Democrats, they disagreed with not having a cap on how much you could go tax-free. And this is only at the federal level. The state, places that got state income taxes, they you got to still pay taxes on it. But state places like Texas, Florida, you don't have to pay state income tax. So this is where you're going to really see the big chunk of your money going back into your pockets.
Seeing the spending go down because, by the way, this is just the first cut at deficit spending, which we're cutting 1.
I mean, I was against the bill, CD. I can't help it. I mean, it flew through. I was cool with the tax breaks, but I wasn't cool with cutting funding to healthcare at all on any level.
$5 trillion in deficit spending, we're eventually going to cross those lines. Now, where does that line cross? The reason why we're doing $4.5 trillion, almost $5 trillion in the debt increase is because those lines will cross about the same time that runs out if everything continues to work. Now, but Will, let me make a very important point here real quick. If we don't do it, because we're going to have to do it, we're not going to default, right? We're not going to default on our payments. We have to pay our debt. We borrowed it, we spent it, we got to pay it. So if we don't do it in the,
I ain't gonna lie, a lot of these people crying about paying their student loans. That's the phase that I'm at. Like I had to pay my stuff back. Like you borrowed it, you paid it, which I think should be illegal. Is these colleges giving out these BS degrees that they know you overcharging people for, like basket weaving and shit that you know they're not going to even get a job to be able to afford these student loans. And community college should be free. It should be like an extension of the public school system.
Reconciliation, our next choice, which with reconciliation, we only have to have 51, meaning we don't have to negotiate with anybody but ourselves. If we do it again later, which we're going to have to do it this summer, then if we don't do it through reconciliation, it'll be a 60-vote threshold, and we'll have to give away the keys to the White House.
And we're going to talk about that together. They're already telling me how little time I have with you. I don't care. I want to get this together because this is important. Okay?
I'm with you.
I want to stay on the debt ceiling for just one more moment. So you understand this. There are people watching right now. There are Republicans that are concerned that Congress, Republican or Democrat, constantly promises spending reductions, and it really has only ever gone north, Senator, and you know that. Deficits and debt have racked up over decades and years. So do you agree with President Trump then? He just put this out about the debt ceiling. I think we can pull that up. He said that he wants to do away with the debt ceiling. He said, I'm very pleased to announce that after all these years, I agree with Senator Elizabeth Warren on something. The debt limit should be entirely scrapped to prevent economic catastrophe. It's too devastating to be put in the hands of political people that may want to use it despite the horrendous effect it could have on our country and indirectly on the world. So he doesn't want to, Senator, incrementally raise the debt ceiling. He wants to do away with it as something that controls government spending.
Well, here's what I would say. Elizabeth wants to do away with it because she doesn't believe in you can't spend enough, right? You're going to spend like a drunken sailor. What the president is referring to here, I believe, is like it should be tied to the budget. If the budget is passed and we're spending X amount of dollars, then we should automatically assume that's going to be part of the debt. And so if we're going to pass a budget and we're going to pass appropriation bills, then those.
Bake, you said that you pay $1,600 per what? For healthcare? You said civilized countries have free healthcare. Like where? Where do they got it free healthcare? Put it in the chat. I'm talking to the No Glory True Story chat.
Those two should be tied on together, and he's not wrong.
For 3 people, you paying $1,600 a month? That's crazy. Are you at least getting good service? Because I get terrible service at my job.
On that, because what happens every time we run up to a debt limit increase, it becomes a negotiating political tool, and everything in the kitchen sink gets thrown in. And it's not simply just raising, and it's not simply just raising the debt limit. You get all types of pet projects that ends up increasing the debt again. So I understand what he's trying to say there.
Last thing, and this is what you talked about, okay, the 60 versus 50 vote threshold. Okay, I would love for you to help me and the audience understand with some light.
All right, to the chat. So a lot of these countries that you saying be having free healthcare and stuff, like I agree, we should have free healthcare and better healthcare and shit like that over here in this country. And one way for us to get it is if we stop giving to all these countries you're naming. Canada, the UK, Finland, the New York America subsidized them a lot. Every time you turn around, we're giving to all these other places. Where you think that money come from? I'm a firm believer that we need to do for self first. I don't think we should have no homeless. I don't think we should have these outrageous healthcare system where we paying these crazy ass prices. Like when the other chat is saying they paying $1,600 a month for him, his wife, and his son. I think that's ridiculous when we could give billions of dollars to Ukraine.
Here, you can't institute discretionary spending cuts through the reconciliation package, the one big beautiful bill. You have to focus on mandatory spending, correct? So anything that Doge has offered up, this isn't the vehicle for that. But instead, what you guys are suggesting is that will be done through rescission. That you will go back to Congress. You've already had one $9 billion suggestion to bring more Doge cuts in. But that's not satisfying Elon. Why do you think he is dissatisfied, and many others, with the level of spending?
Hold on. Something in the chat that I think we all need to acknowledge over at the True Story joint. That is not, in my opinion, a small thing. I gotta show it out to Crankbait. He's been cancer free for 12 years now. So let's show some love and ask respect and happy that you here and that you've been cancer free for 12 years. We like that. Health is wealth. Now let's get back to it. I just had to do a shout out to that because cancer's a motherfucker, man. I lost a lot of family members to that.
Cut you brought in through reconciliation.
Well, everybody wants more, but even through reconciliation, it's a very thin window because it is mandatory spending, but you can't touch Social Security. So the biggest thing in mandatory spending is Social Security. We can't even get into Social Security to do the waste and fraud. That has to go through, honestly, the appropriation and the discretionary spending to get into it. So reconciliation has a very narrow window. We can only do a mandatory spending and just deal with Medicaid. We also can only deal with taxes. Very small window. When we start dealing with rescission has to be very specific. That deals with, once again, discretionary or spending, and it has to be sent to Congress. Congress has to vote because it's a special privilege. It only takes 51 votes at the same time. But Congress can't enact the rescission. The White House has to send it to us, and we have 40 days to handle it.
Okay, I'm way over time, but I have to ask you this last thing. Then if a viewer is watching or anyone is watching, they're like, well, when do all the Doge cuts be made? How can they be made permanent? If it can't be done through reconciliation, and it has to be so targeted and narrow, and then as a byproduct, small in reconciliation, how can we see the Doge cuts actually implemented?
Two ways. Rescission package, which the president can send, and then as soon as we finish reconciliation, we move right into appropriations. As we're working with these agencies, remember the Doge department has basically dispersed out, and they're part of every agency now. They're actually working with the agencies. So as these secretaries and these directors that the president has appointed, which are very well qualified, they come to us with a budget and they say, we recognize X, Y, and Z that needs to be out of our budget. Please withhold that with our appropriations. That's where you're going to start seeing it in every single meeting we've had right now in the appropriations process, because I'm an appropriator. We have seen it by the secretaries bringing that information to us.
Okay, so that means the secretaries are listening to Doge, and they will be making the appropriate recommendations to Congress for those numbers coming from Doge. We hope that's true. It defies the history of government, but we do hope that it's true. All right, Senator Mullen, I think that provided some light, and we appreciate it.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube.
I ain't even gonna lie, I don't even like Sean Hannity, to keep it real. I think he's
page
a little extra. I don't really think he cared for everybody. I think he's another a rich crony. But dude stole my damn thumbnail. But let's see. That was 2 months ago. I got one that one dude broke down the tax joint kind of eloquently. He was a little too high sprung, but you gotta take the good with the bad, you know. But we'll get into that.
Donald Trump's best week ever just got even better. A big win at the Supreme Court and a big loss for.
Tesla is finished. Elon has failed. That is what they want you to believe. But tech expert Jeff Brown, who
Elon is covered.
Well, as you know by now, President Trump's...
First of all, Elon is covered worldwide, man. He's in bed with all these countries. He's in bed with China. He's in bed with us. He's all over, man. So we can't even... He gonna be all right, man. We done let him behind the veil to see how things work that he shouldn't have had liberties to.
One big, beautiful bill has passed, and it has been signed into law. And it was signed into law on the 4th of July. What better day than that as we head into our 250th year of existence in this great nation? We get a bill passed that serves the American people rather than the American political system. Now, the Democrats and the mainstream media have been raging about this bill. They've been saying things like this. Check out what House Speaker, what Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries had to say about the bill. Check this out.
Assault on health care in the United States of America, people will die. Tens of thousands, perhaps year after year after year, as a result of the Republican assault on the health care of the American people. I'm sad. I never thought that I'd be on the House floor saying that this is a crime scene. And House Democrats want no part of it.
Now, as you just heard Hakeem Jeffries say, Democrats want no part of it. And there's a reason why they don't want any part of it. They are pissed. The Democrats and the mainstream media are highly upset, and we're going to break down why. Now, real quick, I'm just going to point out some key benefits from the bill, and then I'm going to jump into why the Democrats are highly upset about it, and they wanted to sway you and I to fight against it, to get our politicians to go against the bill. They wanted to flip Republicans not to put this bill into law because they knew it would be the death nail in the coffin of the Democrat Party. Let me get into it. So real quick, here's some of the benefits and the highlights of it. The typical family will get up to $10,900 in additional take-home pay. Workers will see increased wages up to $7,200. Households earning less than $100,000 a year get a 12% tax cut compared to what it is right now. Up to 7.2 million jobs are protected and created with this bill, and 1 million new jobs a year will be created annually. No tax on tips, overtime pay, car vehicle interest, and tax relief for seniors will put more money annually into Americans' pockets. $1,300 per tipped worker and $1,400 per hourly worker. It locks in and further boosts the double child tax credit to $2,200 for more than 40 million Americans. It locks in and boosts the double standard deduction, increasing it to $31,500 for families. Expands 529 education savings accounts and educational freedom to empower American families and students to choose the education that best fits their needs, whether it's K through 12 materials or obtaining post-secondary trades credentials. And parents have the right to opt their child out of hearing LGBTQ related information. So if you're a parent, just know when you get to that school, opt your child out if you don't want them involved in any of that. Supports working families and small businesses by expanding access to the child care credit and making permanent the paid leave tax credit. So you get paid leave tax credit, okay? And they say President Trump isn't caring about the working family. They're crazy. Enhancing.
I'm America first, but this boy he pussy popping for Trump right now. He need to slow down and just keep it to the facts, boy.
Is the adoption tax credit to help more families experience the joy of adoption and grows the child and dependent care credit. So now if you adopt a child, you get benefits. If you're already taking care of children that are in the foster care system, you get an increase. So you're being benefited for the benefit that you're providing to somebody else. You're helping the child. So the government wants to help you. And that's how it should go. The government should help those that are helping themselves. Those that don't want to help themselves, why should the government want to help you when you don't want to help you?
I do agree with that, man. God bless the child that holds his own, and God bless the child that's going to get out there and get it. But I also feel that we got a civil duty for those that can't, those with disability, our elderly, our children. That is our job to protect them and to take care of them. But it is not our job to enable able bodies to sit on their tail and not do nothing.
It puts American families in control of their health care by expanding the health savings account. Eliminates fraud and waste in Obamacare and blocks access to taxpayer-funded health benefits for illegal immigrants. Now, the one thing they were unable to do, because please know something, for this bill to pass, certain things had to be taken out. If you'd have saw the original bill, everything was in it, benefits for everybody. But you know, some of those rhinos whose votes were needed did everything they could to try to strip that bill down. And then you have what's called the parliamentarian. This is somebody that's not elected, they're selected. And what they do is they monitor the Senate, both sides, to make sure that everything that they're adding into it legislatively falls within Senate rules and guidelines. So like the parliamentarian, since this bill was focused on more so fiscal, this bill was about money. So any legislation that was involving anything else, the parliamentarian didn't allow it, such as booting 1.4 million illegal immigrants off of the Medicare. They tried, that was in there. The parliamentarian said it fell outside of the lines, therefore it was left in. But people get pissed off like, oh, the rhinos and Trump stuck it to it. People blame Trump for everything. They say, oh, Trump Hotel had gum on the floor. And, you know, President Trump stuck that gum on the floor so my foot would get stuck.
I mean, some people do. They do got the, as they coined it, Trump derangement syndrome, that everything is Trump for. But I mean, it's been going on since the beginning of time. Whoever's in office, is their fault. That's the price of leadership, though. No different when you working at your job. your subordinates. Anything that's wrong, it falls back on you. That's the price of leadership, you know. Become a part of tribe. Jesse Brown, tribe, nah, tribe shit. Why I left a cult? I don't even know what you're trying to say, so I'm gonna let you slide, Jesse.
Like Trump did that. You think he personally did it? It's crazy. But that was what's going on. So that's why that stayed. It wasn't that Trump wanted that in there.
That's another thing too, especially for my folks that's in the military or any leadership position. You know damn well those at the top, they don't write none of this paperwork up. They don't do none of that shit. All they do is sign their signature at the bottom line. Like in the military, that shit go through a whole chain of people, get to the commanding officer, and he sign it, or whoever got the bi-direction to sign that shit. They don't know. They don't put none of that shit in. It's all the advisors who advise them and get that shit in there. And then they sign that shit and hold it like it was them who did that shit.
It's not that Mike Johnson wanted it in there. It was that the parliamentarian did not allow the Senate to remove that. Now, John Thune, the majority leader in the Senate on the Republican side, he could have triggered what's called the nuclear option, which is where he could have overrode the parliamentarian. Now, the only reason he didn't is because when you do certain things, if you haven't paid attention in Congress or in the Senate, should I say in the House or in the Senate, when you do certain things for the first time, now it's open game and everybody does it.
Only reason Stream Elements is saying tribe because it rhymes. So strive and tribe. Join the family. My name is Uncle. You know what I mean? We're a family over here. All right, Jesse James. So it's saying subscribe to the family. Show some support. Hit the like button.
Even the Democrats have never used, hey, if you're enjoying this video, do me a solid, hit that thumbs up, because I will never, Republicans trying to maintain decorum, they chose not to. But John Thune could have overrode it with the nuclear option. But again, that opens up a whole nother can of worms, just so you know. So now let's get into why the Democrats have been so anti this bill. Since we broke down everything that's in it, let me go and help you fully understand. And this, what I'm reading from, is from the Ways and Means. So this isn't some website. This is the Ways and Means Committee who handles finances for the United States. So let's get into why the Democrats are pissed off. So here we go. Boom. Number one, this puts American workers first. That pisses them off. Okay. Oh, matter of fact, that's not, there we go. This is the first, this is the first part, and we work our way backwards. So this makes, the bill makes America win again, and here's how. Why the Democrats are outraged. It holds woke elites and political class accountable. Here's how. It repeals the green corporate welfare subsidies and the Democrats' Inflation Act. Eliminates $500 billion of Green New Deal subsidies and ends America's energy independence on Chinese supply chains, which was crazy anyway. Ends foreign control over American tax dollars. Biden-era global tax surrender sends hundreds of billions in revenue abroad. House passage of retaliatory tax measure.
That goes back to what I was telling y'all earlier about how we trying to get more self-sufficient over here in America, and how we're trying to pretty much take ourselves off for being dependent on all these other nations, because the same people that could feed you can starve you. So that all goes part of it, where we slowly trying to, because God forbid, if they become our adversaries tomorrow, then boom, we already cut off from that. So
HR 1 forced foreign governments to stop discriminatory taxes against American companies, saving the United States $120 billion for American companies. Increases in the university endowment tax. So now all these universities is getting these huge endowments, but they preach anti-American ideology.
Read fantasy. How what cult am I a part of? Please explain to me. What cult am I a part of?
Now you're going to have to pay a tax on that. You want to get the money and you want to be anti-American, you have to pay to talk bad against us. New restrictions on radical left-wing organizations in the tax-exempt sector.
Thank you. I appreciate
taxes
it.
on nonprofits. So now if you got an executive making $3 million a year at your nonprofit, guess what? You're going to pay a tax on that, because your nonprofit is nonprofit because it's supposed to be providing a service or assistance to the people. But if it's providing more assistance and service to the board,
I don't really care what's in it. I feel that it's what you call it, that's all like imaginary money anyway. I don't feel like when it comes to government spending, I feel that's imaginary money. So when they say everybody cares, I care for certain shit because I pay in the taxes and I'm in the military, so I see certain things. But I do know that a lot of that funding is all, in my opinion, imaginary. They gonna raise that joint. Is when they talk all this military funding, they gotta do it because that's what keep us on top. That's what keep us a country that's not getting ran over by other countries. And as far as propaganda, as far over here on Uncle Moe TV, No Glory, True Stories, we look at all sides of the coin, from the right side, the left side, because I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican. Right wing, left wing, same bird is my motto. And anybody that know me knows that. But let's get back to it.
More than it is to the people, well, you got to pay for that. Democrats don't like that. Eliminate special tax treatment for highly compensated corporate executives. Closes the loopholes allowing corporations to hire huge salaries in subsidiary companies. But Trump is doing everything for the billionaires, right? You think the billionaires are happy about him doing this? No. What he's
I will admit, he's drinking the Kool-Aid. He's going real extra with this shit. But you got to pay his bills like I got to pay mine.
Doing is he's leveling the playing field. President Trump, I hope you realize it. He only took the Republican title because that was the one most closely suited with what he aligned with at the time. You got Democrats, you got Republicans. He had to select one just so he could
Now, one thing he's touching on is he was a Democrat. These same people that was talking about him as far as Hillary and all of, they was in his wedding. They was hanging out with him. All you black people was loving Trump in the 90s. All the rap songs, everything, all the parties. He was on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Everybody was loving him. Oprah was loving him. The whole Democratic Party was loving Trump in the 90s. As soon as he found a hustle to get into the White House, now he became a racist. We all don't like him. And if you black, you ain't supposed to like him. And if you're black, you supposed to love Biden, when he locked up half of our goddamn generation. You know, with his crime bill, then turned around. And the same crime bill that affected millions of Americans, his son was guilty of doing them same crimes. He pardoned him and pardoned everybody around him for anything that we could ever find out about him or his family. So we got to look at that shit. They all full of shit. Right wing, left wing, they all full of shit on the same bird, man. They all hustling us and got us fighting back, fighting each other, and then they golfing together later.
Represent a party to get in the position he is now. But President Trump isn't really a conservative, or he's not even a progressive. What he is, he's literally just a common sense, no nonsense, America first individual who's running the country.
He's a hustler. If you telling me he was a Democrat and then they wouldn't accept him to be their presidential nominee, which he ran independent. If you look back on his first election, he ran Republican and independent. And then when that ain't work, now he's jumping, changing faces, shape-shifting to be a Republican and do his MAGA party. So that's a hustler. He did a chameleon tactic to be a hustler to get in there and get what he wanted out of the system.
Like William McKinley did. Those people who believed in America and in the American people. It was Woodrow Wilson in
Yeah, like when I say imaginary money, I don't mean like, I'm talking about military budgets. Like they sit there and tell us we only got this funding, that funding. And then when it comes to the fiscal year, they rush to spend all this money we could have been spending all year to get the things we need instead of waiting till the last minute. Because if you don't spend it, then your budget is less the next year. That's what I'm saying. They're going to allocate the funds. So I don't know why they're good. Like he said, we're going to keep them. We don't have gold or silver or anything tangible backing our money up like how we had back in the days when Fort Knox used to hold actual tangible goods to back our money up. We don't have that no more.
1913, who was elected with the globalist support. Prior to that, America used tariffs to fund our nation. It was Woodrow Wilson utilizing what's called the Underwood Act. That came out in 1912 is when the Underwood Act was enacted, and he aligned with that and told those globalist bankers that he would push it. It was under Woodrow Wilson that the country got the income tax. It was under Woodrow Wilson that the country ever had its first federal budget.
Now what he leaving out though, that the reason why they started, which taxes was supposed to be temporary back then, the reason why they started a federal income tax back when Woodrow Wilson was the president, because we had World War I going on and we went bankrupt as a country. So we were supposed to replenish our funds. And from what I believe, which I got to go back and search, is it was not supposed to be permanent. It was supposed to be like a temporary fix to get us back going.
Didn't have annual federal budgets. The country banked and plotted for the future of the country. This whole annual federal budget were things that countries like Britain did. You know, those European bankers who put Woodrow Wilson in his seat. Woodrow Wilson is also who brought in the Federal Reserve Bank. So when you look at what this Democrat did, he sucked the life out of the American system and made the government the focus of the country rather than the people. And it's a fact. Look it up. When the income tax was first enacted, it was supposed to be for the top 1% at 1%. So just like now, when the Democrats get up and they say, oh, this is for the billionaires, this is for the billionaires, let's pass this to hold the billionaires accountable.
The first major reduction on tariffs was in the Underwood tariffs of 1913 was the first major reduction of tariff. The average tariffs dropped from 41% to 27%, and all tariffs was lowered by 25%. So you mean to tell me we had tariffs in 1913? That's not a brand new word that the president learned during his his second term, tariff, because we all act crazy. And for all y'all that was on my stream about a week or two ago, talk about we was going to be in World War III, congratulations, you played yourself. You know, you played yourself, and I told you then that we wasn't going to be at World War III. All we do is fight continuously wars. Every time you turn around, we've been in conflict forever. We just don't call them wars, but we've been in conflict. When have we not been at conflict with another country? You know? And the Federal Reserve Act of 1913 allowed for the issuing of the Federal Reserve Note. The U.S. dollar was a way to reform and regulate the banking industry. All nationally chartered banks had to become a member of the Federal Reserve Bank. We always see at our banks that it say it's insured by the FDIC, whatever that shit is. I always make sure that. Say I know federal credit unions are not under the same thing. All right, let's hear him.
That's how they sell it. But these billionaires are wealthy. They have great lawyers. They have smart people. They find ways to get around it. While the general public gets stuck with it because it doesn't pan out the way they thought.
We suffer, but him acting like the Republicans are the saviors and the Democrats are the all evil. They all together. They're all together. They are the billionaires. They are the ones getting paid by the billionaire to lobby for their interests. All you told me is, I remember when I was younger, they told me if you look on top of a judge bench in America, it says, "In God we trust," right? Y'all ain't gonna be able to see this, but as we was talking about the Federal Reserve, where else do you see "In God we trust" that? I love money, and I never really paid attention that. Where else do you see the words "In God we trust"? Let's see who going actually come up with it and say where else you see that at. That's over all the judges' bench. Money, Thomas. You said it on the front. "In God we trust" is on every bill. You probably can't. I don't know if it's focusing, but I know if I get too close, it's going to try to blur it out because of the drown. But "In God we trust" is on every note. And I remember my grandfather used to tell me, he said, the same way you see it on that's like a dog whistle that tells you money talks and bullshit walks. That's why we so shocked to see a lot of our celebrities not getting that celebrity appeal like how they used to be. We got billionaires being pulled into there. Like, I ain't think that Diddy was going to do no major time and none of that shit because he can afford the means to fight the case, you know? He got the means to go up against them. And they need him to keep that money and shit circulating.
You think those billionaires are willingly going to let you take their stuff without fighting tooth and nail? And then when the revenue's not generating from it like they proposed, they say, it's not working out. Who we get it from? Well, it's already legal. Let's just slap the people with it. They voted us in. They wanted us to do it. They just didn't know we was going to do it to them. That's what happened. So it started out as 1% tax on the top 1%. Now, look, it's 7% across the board, and all of us pay it. Got to watch those folks. It stops taxpayer benefits from going to illegal immigrants. So we already know that's a great thing. Puts America first. It eliminates premium tax credits for Biden-era rule that encourages fraudulent enrollment, and it requires upfront income verification and ensures access to primary care, access to PTSs are fully repaid. Ends abuse in China to circumvent duties. Consistent with White House executive order, eliminates de minimis for low-value commercial shipments. Ends taxations of suppressors, short-barrel rifles, and short-barrel shotguns. So now it cuts the transfer and making taxes from $400 to zero, removing an outdated barrier abused by the Biden administration to prevent law-abiding Americans from exercising their Second Amendment rights.
The number one food for regular BMs, huh? Okay, let's see.
Fastest way to clear out stuck poop is by adding more fiber.
Wow. Here's another reason why the Democrats are upset. Because it delivers the biggest wins for the working class. Here's how. In addition, to stopping a $1,700 tax increase later this year, the average American family of four making less than $100,000 receives an additional $600 in tax cuts as compared to today. Working families making between $15,000 and $30,000 will have their taxes cut by 21%, the largest of any income group. So there we go for your lower middle class benefit right there. And as you can see here, 21% for people making between 15 and 30, 16% for people making between 30 and 40, 14% for folks making between 40 and 50, 13% for between 50 and 60. As a result of the one big beautiful bill, the top 1% will pay more in federal taxes than they did before. Over 40% of all federal taxes. That's why when these lamestream media pundits and these Democrat politicians say, oh, the school teacher is paying more in taxes, you notice they say more in taxes than the billionaire. They're not talking about actual dollars. They're talking about the tax rate. But if you look at what a person making $1 million taxed at the rate they're taxed at versus somebody making $30,000, the millionaire, regardless of how you cut it, is paying far more in taxes. But a person who doesn't understand mathematics, like say, oh, how come a billionaire is paying less in tax than a teacher? They really believe the billionaire is paying less in actual dollars and contribution than the teacher, which nothing could be further from the truth. And it's insane. And somebody that is making that type of
shit, I was talking. Mike was muted the whole damn time, and I done said some real prolific shit. But what's insane is we don't pay our damn teachers a livable wage for the most part. They need to pay our teachers, and we need to, like, I don't think they need to get rid of the Department of Education. I think they need to revamp the Department of Education, and they need to invest into the Department of Education and make it work and build new schools and make a better infrastructure and give us like actual shit, like put trades and shit back into school so that when you graduate high school, you can go out and get a job that you can have a livable wage on. Not just you go out there, go believe in the illusion of college, and then that shit don't work out, and then you get a degree that you done spent $200,000 on to go work outside of your field, and now you in debt for damn near half your life trying to pay back a degree that you can't even use.
Money, and if they are a small business, or the more money they have in their pocket, the more money they can spend in the market, in the economy, stimulate small business, stimulating big business, whatever way you want to cut it. But they sell it, and that's why they love their voters to be ignorant. Democrat Party, that's why they love these illegals. They don't know the American.
Republicans love their voters to be ignorant too. Don't act like it's just one side. It's both sides of the coin. They both want they want us to be stupid as a whole. The elite want the lower class to fight over shit that don't make no sense.
American landscape, the more ignorant you are, the better you are as a constituent for the Democrat Party. Why do you think their slogan is vote blue no matter who, other than who we tell you to? It's vote blue no matter who, other than who we tell you to. That's just crazy. And so they say, hey.
Never heard that until he said it. I heard the vote blue no matter who, but I never heard the last part that he said.
Listen, remember Project 2025? Remember that was all people of color were going to be locked up and thrown out, and because they knew their constituents weren't going to read. They would say, hey, it's 900 pages. 900 pages, y'all. So trust what I'm telling you is in it. And I did a video when during the election that broke down that, pointing out to people, hey, what they're telling you is supposed to be in it, is not in it. I would issue challenges of $100 if anyone could jump up, especially black folks. Show me one thing in it that's racist. Show me one thing in it that's against women. I challenge you. And they couldn't. We know they couldn't.
He said some shit that kind of rubbed me the wrong way there. When you say especially black folks, I don't know if you can see, my brother, but you black. You are black folks. And if you're smart enough to understand, that means that there's other people out there that's smart enough to understand. So don't try to talk down on the whole, man.
The One Big Beautiful Bill provides the biggest relief to low-income families. The One Big Beautiful Bill will cut taxes for Americans earning under $50,000 by 14.9%. 66% of the One Big Beautiful Bill's tax cuts benefit families making less than $500,000. But it's all about the billionaires, right? 66% of the bill, million people in this country. And I will go on record of saying at least 200 million are making less than 500,000. At least 200 million. So
you know it's only 1% that's even making anyway. That I'm getting tired of the way he shucking and jiving right now. So we gonna go on to the next one. I like his content. If you like what you heard, you can go over there and subscribe to the show. Jasmine Crockett, we'll get on that right there. Now, but this is one of the reasons why this whole a lot of this shit is happening too, because you got people that was going on the internet, right? And they was bragging about not paying into the system and just pulling from the system. They was bragging about having the welfare and everything. Like before the whole, you know what I'm saying, election, they was talking about get rid of TikTok. I was the number one component for them to get rid of it, because I felt like it was so much ignorance being spilled over it. But I also now feel like TikTok is the gift that keep on giving, because these idiots get on it and tell on themselves. They just tell on themselves. YouTube too. All social media platforms, they get on it and just tell on themselves, right? Let's go to this. Oh man, I fucked up.
She said,
Wait. I'm all over the place, man. But like I was saying, a lot of these cats get on there and they just tell on themselves. They tell on themselves. They fucking... They give up all the goods on how they stupid. And that's why I low-key started liking TikTok, because I felt like they're telling on themselves, so we get to see how dumb they is for telling on themselves. You know? Like, I went into TikTok, right? I literally just clicked on where the shit said food stamps, right? And I've never seen so many people happy in poverty, right? There's one chick right here. She's the fucking gift that keeps on giving, man. Let's just take a look at it.
To everybody telling me that I need to go get a job so I can support my 6 kids, no, sweetheart. That's your job.
Man, my
That's
job.
why you go to work every single day.
To pay my bills.
12 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's why you work on Christmas. That's why you work on Halloween. That's why you're not with your kids through the week, because you're at work supporting my kids.
I done fucked it up trying to make it bigger, but...
To everybody telling me that I need to go get a job so I can support my 6 kids, no, sweetheart. That's your job.
Man, my
That's
job.
why you go to work every single day.
To pay my bills.
12 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's why you work on Christmas. That's why you work on Halloween. That's why you're not with your kids through the week, because you're at work supporting my kids.
The ones you pop out of your
works.
vagina that
That's
fucking
how
looks like a fucking
benefits
Grand
work.
Canyon. Yeah, you're...
So when you were born, you either decided to be the giver or taker. You either contribute to society or you take from society. I am a taker. You are the giver. It's just how it works.
A taker?
Maybe
That's
in your
obvious.
next
Laying
life,
on your back, you take it.
you can
Yeah.
be the taker too. Or,
Yeah, I got it. I
or
got
you
it
can
now.
decide
You can
halfway
shut up.
through your life that you don't want to be a giver anymore.
You can shut
Do
up.
your job. To everybody telling me.
But that's crazy, because like she was one of them people up there talking about how, as you could see, that she was getting like $10,000 a month in government's funding, subsidies, food stamps, healthcare, all this stuff. And this is the type of reason what came into effect to make them want to make this bill that says if you're a willing body, I mean, not a willing body, an able body, you need to get out there and work and contribute instead of just taking. Because even though in my heart of heart, I feel like she's trolling, and she found a space, and now she's gonna make, you know what I mean, this space pay her. Like she monetizing, rage baiting people with this. But it is people out there like that. The same thing with Section 8 on why they talking about it. Like, I ain't gonna lie, it's plenty of days I get up and I just don't feel like going to work, you know? And like my shirt say, I just do it. I have no choice. Like, I have bills to pay. I have children to take care of. And if I don't go out there and make it happen, it's not gonna happen, you know? And it's crazy because there's people out there like that. And like I said, the wonderful world of TikTok, where you could just type it in and these people are self-incriminating themselves, you know? And then, like, it's ridiculous, utterly ridiculous how it is. And it goes on and on and on.
Come up, look. Get on your knee, let me put a cow up in your throat. Put some hole, let me see you drop it to the floor. I'm real freak, I'm finna jump off the fucking door. I'm on some in their butt.
And this my thing. They said she got 7 kids, bro. Like, I was telling one of my peoples, right? I have 3 kids, you know. I have 3 kids, and I told them, they was like, oh, why you didn't have more kids or whatever. Most that take care of their kids when they're young, they don't have a bunch of kids because they know it's hard out here, man. Look, single mom of 5, right? And they happy, and it's not.
5, and I do get food stamps, and of course.
And women, please, let's stop making it a badge of honor to be a single mother, especially when you have to depend on food stamps, Section 8, and welfare benefits. It is not a badge of honor to say that you had multiple children. And I won't even say you get no help, because if the father's working and you know who the father is, not saying you don't know, but for those who don't, because y'all go in there and say y'all don't know, but y'all know who the father is, the welfare is gonna go out there and take them for child support. And then they're gonna keep that child support to their self and give you the benefits or whatever, because that goes towards the reimbursement. So the states is gonna keep it. And a lot of y'all, what y'all do is y'all hustle. Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all secrets, because I was somebody on child support before. Y'all do that, right? But y'all won't put that child that you're getting child support for. You won't put that child on your budget or whatever. Y'all, however the fuck they do it, because I was never on that shit, right? My mom's just retired after doing 30 years at the post office. She was a school teacher before that, and she made a hell of a lot more money working at the post office than being a school teacher. But that's neither here or there. But I wasn't on it. We worked hard, and what they do is they would take the child father and say, like, you're paying, like, I got a friend paying $18.41 a month. So if he paying $18.41 a month, she would get the $18.41 a month for that father that's on there, right? Then if she got other kids that say she don't put them fathers on there or they're not working, she'll get the state money from them, and then they live off of that, man. You know, God bless the dead. I had a friend that she lived off of child support. That was her thing. She had three kids, 3 baby fathers, and she lived off the child support. She did not work. Her child support, because the kids' fathers had good jobs, was enough to sustain her lifestyle. And the crazy thing is, one of the kids lived with the father. So that was crazy. He was paying child support, and the kid lived with him. But he felt like it was easier for him to just pay the child support than to deal with her. But here go to let's finish here.
According to my comments, you guys don't know how the fuck the food stamps and the SNAP benefits work, so let me educate you in 1 minute and 3 seconds. First and foremost, I am in Texas, so you must be a Texas citizen. You must be a U.S. citizen, or you must be a qualified legal non-citizen, and you must live in a low-income household. Now, they do take income into account based on your family size. Again, income into account based on family size. I know that you guys think income equals the ability to buy food. Remember, it's a low-income household, so that is not always the case. Now, since they do look at your income, they also look at the expenses like childcare, shelter, utilities, medical bills, things of that nature. They also have an asset limit here in Texas of about $2,700 and some change. Now, the nitty-gritty when it comes down to working. If you're between the ages of 16 and 59 years old, you are required to work, train, or volunteer. However, if you are elderly, the primary caregiver to someone that is 18 or younger, a student, or disabled, those do not apply to you. I'm a single mom of 5. Fuck the food stamps and the SNAP benefits.
So let's get back to it. Let's dissect some of the shit she said, right? Now, what she said, the low income, right? Why the hell do she need childcare if your ass ain't working? You see what I mean when they say about the big, beautiful bill, why they made a work requirement? Because you sitting at home, and the crazy shit as we go through these videos, you're going to see a common thing that might offend some people. All of them, I don't see no malnutrition. People that are getting on here complaining or getting on here saying they're on these food stamps, man. All of them look very voluptuous, you know? Voluptuous, and they proud to say, like, let's check the comments, you know? The comments are saying, I'm gonna try to blow it up where y'all could read it and then bring it up here again. Well, shit, let me see. Put this back. I blew it up too much. Let's put it back on this one, on the main screen. I think I keep that the same. I could read the comments out to you, right? Look at the comments. The top comment, right? A female said to her, "Why have so many children? My husband and I wanted 4, could not afford 4, so we had 2 that we knew we could take care of. This need to be considered when bringing children into this world." You know what that's called? Family planning. You know, I'm all for you do certain things and you take responsibility for your action. You take care of them, you know, but family planning, you know, and living within your means, you know. This woman in the comment realized, hey, I wanted a family of 4. That means that's a family of 6 of us, counting me and my husband. We can't afford that. Realistically, we can afford a family of 4. So we got 2 kids, and that's it. We don't have to depend on anybody because, like I told y'all earlier, those who feed you can starve you, you know? Those who feed you can starve you. So if you depending on the government can feed, same way they feed you, they starve you, and then y'all feel entitled to a government benefit. You feel entitled to a system that you're not paying into. Even if life insurance is meant to be used upon death only, it could be canceled at any time, and money would be reimbursed to the policy owner, which is why it's considerable as an asset. Okay. Why are you having babies you can't afford to feed? Close your fucking legs. D. Koof is I agree though. I agree. If you can't afford them, you shouldn't be having them. Shout out to everybody on No Glory True Story. Shout out to everybody on 170 Mo. And shout out to everybody on Uncle Moe's TV. And shout out to Scoops. You can follow me on Scoops. Uncle Moe TV. You can follow me on TikTok. Uncle Moe TV. But I don't really post now. I only got TikTok to look at TikTok. What's the next one? And there's always them cats that be just talking out their ass. Hold on, man. I'm gonna let the next one play while I take this phone call.
Her food stamps dropped from $4,400 to just $38.
My food stamps went from $4,400 in food stamps every month to $38. What am I supposed to get with $38 with 6 kids? How the hell am I supposed to support my kids on $38 in food stamps? Not to mention our disability checks on hold. Our Section 8, my rent isn't getting paid tomorrow. So I have to come up with $1,100, okay? I am allergic to work. I can't work. I refuse to work. The whole reason I had kids was the amount of government benefits that you get for one child. And now, with the dependent age being 7 and younger, none of my kids are dependents now. None of them, because they're all older than 7. So how am I supposed to live? How do I feed my kids on $38? This is not okay. Not okay.
A woman's going viral after saying her food stamps dropped from $4,400 to just $38.
My food stamps went from $4,400 in food stamps every month to $38. What am I supposed to get with $38 with 6 kids? How the hell am I supposed to support my kids on $38 in food stamps? Not to mention our disability checks on hold. Our Section 8, my rent isn't.
Mama was here for the holidays. She just went home. So that's who called me to let me know she got home. But Melvin, whatever, Padillo, whatever. I hope I am fucking your name up. Black, I'm going to read his comment out here because I'm about to ride on him, right? Melvin said that black men need to stop having all these baby mamas and blaming the mom for the need for food stamps. Being that I'm a black man, I'm going to address this. First off, black men have less children than black women. Majority of black men, if you look up the statistic from age, I think 15 to like 40 only 45% of us have kids. So what do that tell you? It's the same men, which is not just black men that's getting, I'm going to just talk for black women that's getting black women pregnant. It's also Hispanic men like yourself, from with your name seen. I can't really see your picture because it's so tiny. White men getting them pregnant. All other demographics, but American black men do not have all these children, as y'all say, that they put out there. Check the CDC records on that and the statistics that most men don't have these kids, you know? So this whole theory where they say that shit, like me, I have 3 kids, right? What you mean? I have 3 kids. I was married twice. My first, and more black men are married than black women, might I add, right? And if we also go into statistic, black fathers are the most active in the household, you know? And I, right, been, and American black women don't have, we have a certain demographic of women that have multiple kids, and I agree with that. Black, Hispanic, white, everybody likes to go to Pound Town. So it is not one that's making more. Actually, the black demographics is going down. The problem with the black community is what is put out in the public eye, social media and all that shit, is the worst representation of the black community. Not the doctors, the lawyers, the military people, the housewives and shit. Y'all get to see the bullshit. When you look at the statistics, it don't show that, you know? And a lot of that shit is just what they put out. That's like what they're trying to do right now to the Hispanic community, i.e. the Mexican community, to try to portray everybody as criminals. When I have close friends that's from all over, that all Democrat of the Spanish Hispanic community from Mexico. I'm from New York, so of course all my close people that I grew up with is Puerto Rican and Dominican. But don't believe the propaganda that's put out there. So all that shit about we having all black men having all these kids, black men is always demonized, and that's some BS, man. But let's get back to it, man. And it's more white people on these social services than any other Democrat, which makes sense because it's just the law of numbers. It is over 330 million Caucasian Americans. So they always, for the most part, is going to be the highest at certain things.
Getting paid tomorrow. So I have to come up with $1,100. Okay. I am allergic to work. I can't work. I refuse to work. The whole reason I had kids.
I do feel like she capping for TikTok though with the shit she's saying. But she got kicked off of this shit. But I do feel like she found a lane to get paid off of this shit, and she rubbing that shit in to rage bait people.
Was the amount of government benefits that you get for one child.
Check the other chat.
And now, with the dependent age being 7 and younger, none of my kids are dependents now. None of them, because they're all older than 7. So how am I supposed to live? How do I feed my kids on $38? This is not okay. Not okay.
All right, now let me back to this where we talk about how whole family. I'm going to keep it real with you, right? So I'll be watching this shit, right? We got a whole group of black women called divestors because, you know, they got a thing in the black community, I guess, the conscious community called, they say invest into the community. So they're saying they tired of black men, so they want to divest. So they call themselves divestors. And the thing is, when you dealing with some black women, all you gotta do is be something other than a black man, and they're catered to you. They're gonna treat you. They're gonna act different and behave different than what they would do if they was dating a black man. They're not gonna put up with certain shit that they would put up, that they, you know what I'm saying, with outside of their race than what they would put up with in their race, you know? And I seen it firsthand. I know a girl I was dating that she has a baby daddy that's white, and he does all the same shit that we see on the internet with these black dudes do. You know what I mean? Don't take kid, like half-ass taking care of the kid. You know what I mean? Do I think they care about the kid? Do I even think he a bad father? Not really. I don't even think he's a bad father. I think he's an immature father and shit. But she didn't put up, like, she made excuse after excuse after excuse for that. But then when she see her black counterpart friends who deal with men that's within their race, she just say how all black men ain't shit, they this and that, bigging up this dude when this dude giving him more problems than what her friend is getting, man. Misery love company, and some people would rather lie to you and pretend to be happy than to tell the truth. Because they don't want nobody to realize that they make dumb decisions, you know? And that they be under illusions thinking they better than thou when they're not. Let me see, who's it? Yeah, more male. The only reason why we can say more white people is on government assistance than other demographic is because it's more white people.
For Black America, man. So if you're not part of the Black American community, man, keep it pushing.
And look at this dude. This dude is a little lighter than me. My mama is lighter than him. My mother is lighter than this dude. He talk about this for the black community. Motherfucker, you're black. But let's hear him out. I don't agree with this right here, what he used, but
Black America, the brothing gonna talk to you right now.
I agree with you. There should be a push for marriage, but the problem is across the board, white, black, and indifferent, a lot of men nowadays with their earning potential, they're not trying to get married because they see is no benefit when 80% of marriages, women file for divorce, and they take whoever is making more money get taken to the ringer. You know, so that's why a lot of cats are scared of marriage. But I agree, and we need to build the family structure, and we need to be. But it's a lot of people that's married. Like, I'm in the military, so you see everybody married in the military. You know. But let's hear this fool out.
Because I got a little piece of information that I feel like is going to be beneficial for you guys when people be out here trying to talk shit on your community. You know what I'm saying? Because for the longest time, America loves using statistics to portray your community a certain type of way, right? But guess what? The food stamp statistics, man, just came out for 2025, right? You know how everybody try to make it seem like, oh, y'all live on the system, y'all was on food stamp, this and that, right? Well, guess what? The list came out, man, and y'all number 9. Y'all number 9, bro. Let's go through this list together, bro. So number 1, which kind of shocked me, is Afghanistan. I didn't even know there was that many Afghanistan people over here, man. 45% of the communities on food stamp, right? Somali, 42%. Iraqi, 34%. We're gonna forgive those people because it's like war-torn countries, you know what I'm saying, right? But number 1, man, in the Western Hemisphere, my people, Dominicans, blew my mind. I ain't really know who's getting down like that, bro, at 34.4%. Then it's Caribbean, right? Then Native American, which I thought they owned all the casinos and stuff like that, right? So blew my mind, right? Then after the Puerto Rican, Cuban, and then it's Black Americans, man, at number 9. And 10 is...
What I see from his shit, he must be getting where they just breaking it down by ethnic groups. How many in that ethnic group is getting those percentages? So if they saying 100% of black people, 24% of them is taking out of SNAP benefits or benefiting, however you want to look at it and shit. But this ain't the pure numbers of who's on it. It's probably, let's say if it's only 100 Afghanistan people here, they saying 45 of them is on benefiting from these government subsidies, you know. But I agree with you, man. We do need to push the rebuilding the family structure. And part of this big, beautiful bill, even like I said, I don't really agree with none of this. So I feel like a bill should not be no more than 100 pages. That way everybody can read it and easily understand it, you know? It's kind of like contracts. I feel contracts, they make them difficult on purpose to cheat you out of what you deserve. But in there, they're saying people that is a 2-family household, they will be able to still draw. Only one person need to have a part-time job in the house. They're trying to get rid of this baby mama culture and stop rewarding people. Like before, they wanted you to kick out the man in the household in order to receive any funding. So that broke up the marriages and the happy home and the nuclear family.
It's gonna be Arabs, right? Yeah, so keep that in your back pockets.
Yeah, I don't need you to tell me to keep shit in my back pocket. Let's get back to the gift that keep on giving.
It has now been 7 days since my food stamps were stolen by Mr. Trump himself. 7 days, 1 week. Because somebody decided to report me to my caseworker. So now they have to do a review, which means I could be without my food stamps and all of my other welfare benefits for 30 days. 30 days, 1 month. I have to figure out how to come up with the rent. That's $1,100. I have to come up with a way to feed my 6 kids. I get $4,300 a month in food stamps. Do the math. Cash assistance, $21.
She get $4,300 in food stamps. I'm in the military, right? Family of 4. I get $300 and I think $60 for food allowance. $360 for food. And when I go on deployment, they take that shit away. And you get $250 for family separation, you know? That's supposed to help you. $250 ain't really helping with nothing but car fare to get them somewhere, maybe. But she's saying she get $4,500 for food stamp.
$2,100. Disability, 7 different disability checks.
7
Not getting them this.
I'm trying to pause it where you can see her
All
teeth.
because
There you go. That's what she need to go, bro. You see how her fucking, I don't know if she got dip in her mouth or what. But I will personally go to the president, ask her to put her back on all this if they send her to dental and let them clean them teeth, man, and get whatever this brown shit is out of her mouth, man. Please, please. We need to maybe go to fucking change.org and start a petition to get this shit done. She getting paid off of TikTok. And this is from 2 days ago. So they need to, this shit got 22,000 views and shared 95 times, man. They need to fucking get this goddamn shit fixed. This is ludicrous.
somebody is mad because they have to go to work every day and support me and my 6 kids. Well, that's your financial responsibility as a taxpayer. That is why you pay taxes, is to support families.
Okay, I see a lot of people asking for story time on how...
Now, I wanted to show this because they locked her ass up, man. I didn't watch this one, but I seen it. They said they locked her ass up for fucking food stamp fraud. And that's what, you know what I'm saying, they should do for motherfuckers who getting over on the system, you know? Lock her ass up.
I owe them $35,000 now. Okay, so I live by myself. I'm single. I don't have any kids. So I've been applying for food stamps like 2 or 3 years ago. I lied on my food stamp case and I told them I was homeless, and I told them that
And if you homeless, where you gonna put the food? Where are you gonna put the food? They got refrigerators out here. Like, where you gonna put the food at, man?
I didn't have anything. I was homeless. I didn't have nowhere to go. Blase, blase. And I told them that I wasn't working. So when I first started getting my food stamps, I started getting like $400 a month just for myself. So I'm just thinking everything cool, you know, like, okay, I'm getting my food stamps. Nothing happened.
Another thing I want to point out, you don't see none of their cheekbones, man. You can't see me point, but you don't see none of their cheekbones. They be eating good, bro. They be eating good.
And, you know, so I decided to come on TikTok and tell people, like, if you're trying to get food stamps, you can lie to them and, you know, nothing will happen. So that was a very bad mistake that I made, lying to them. And I really don't give a fuck what y'all saying, because a lot of people saying, you have lashes on, why you need food stamps? I don't care. If it's free, I want it. Baby, food is way expensive. And if I go in Walmart with $100, I'm really not going to leave out with nothing. Who want to keep spending money on food? Like, it's just too much.
People that want to fucking eat, that's who want to keep spending money on food. People that want to eat. That's that mentality that fucks the game up. This is that mentality on things like the big beautiful bill saying you need to get your lazy ass up. She could spend $200-300 for them goddamn Mr. Snuffleupagus kids eyelashes, but she feel like food ain't important. She could spend $200. Well, that hairstyle is probably depending on where she live at. I'm gonna go off the prices in my area. That's about a $260 to $300 hairstyle to get it braided, you know? So If you could spend all that on your parents and waste that shit, we ain't even gonna go into the tattoos and shit. But if you could spend that, you could spend that shit on going to get a goddamn job. That you could spend it on food. You eating good. We don't see no cheekbones. You ain't famished.
So when this was, they picked me up yesterday, but day before yesterday, I got a call and they was like, "Hello, is this such and such?" And I'm like, "Yes. Hello. What's going on?" They say, "Well, this is the people that's like, you know, over the food stamp office or whatever." And it was like, "We have a report that you have been putting false information on your application to get food stamps, and that you're not homeless, and that you do have a job." So I'm like, "Okay, who did you get this information from?" So it was like, "Well, we cannot disclose any information about who we got it from, but we have facts that you have been lying, and you have to pay all of that back, and your balance is $35,000. And they also told me that they was filing charges on me. So I'm like, what the hell? Because at this point, I'm really thinking like they just playing, or somebody just playing on my phone, y'all. But yesterday, when I made the video and posted on TikTok, like 15 minutes later, the police came knock on my door. They was like, "Is you such and such?"
Which they should lock your ass up. Not only was you committing fraud, you was teaching other people to commit fraud. You was robbing the American people. This is why that bill says if you are able-bodied, you need to go get a damn job. You get what I'm saying? And for all of y'all that really needed, or you was sitting back popping these fucking babies out and shit, it's people like this that ruin it for people like you that made it hot, man.
They read me my rights and they arrested me. And y'all keep asking me, how did I have my phone in the back of the police truck? That's because I didn't give them no problems. Like, I wasn't arguing with them. I simply got back in the back of the police truck, because the police car, because I know what the fuck I did.
And she ain't no fucking elaborate criminal. Depending where that, they let her have all that shit and take it at the precinct. You know, I'm more impressed they read her rights. I'm not saying you know what I'm saying, I'll keep it real. Uncle been to jail before. In New York, I've been arrested and shit. And that's a story time for another time. But I seen that happen before, you know. But New York don't even be reading you your rights.
Was I wrong for doing that? Yes. But at the end of the day, I did what I did. And I don't give a damn. Y'all nobody's to judge me. But I did what I had to do at that.
Everybody's gonna judge you. All this shit, don't judge me. Nobody could judge you. Everybody's gonna judge you. You doing dumb shit, bro. Like, everybody judge you. Even God judge you. That's what they say when you die. It's judgment day, bro. Everybody judge you. Like, I don't know why we need to judge people. We need to bring shame back. We need to bring shame back. Yeah, it's a mental illness, Melvin, the way some of these people get on social media and make a goddamn fool out of themselves. And then they tell on themselves that they doing all this illegal shit. No different than these young boys be up there flashing their guns and shit. Her getting on here like, I was on TikTok, because greed. They fucking, what you call it? The greed of they can make a little bit of money will make them be like, start telling and gotta keep going and going. And I ain't gonna lie, when you see that first social media check, depending on what level you at, it be decent, it be good for something. Then when your shit start juking and you see them big checks jumping in there that could be life changing, it's a different field, a different aura. I ain't gonna lie, that first social media check had me like, okay. That second one of them had me like, yeah, you know what I mean? So I could understand, but don't hustle backwards, you know what I mean? Because you go to jail and all that shit, you telling yourself like, don't do this shit, yo. Crime don't pay, bro. You gonna laugh now, cry later, and that shit ain't, you know? But that's crazy.
That point, because baby food is expensive. But I bought it out 5 hours later, and I have to go to court. They didn't see me at court date yet, but when they do, I'm going to just keep y'all updated, because I know some of y'all don't get.
And that's crazy, because we got smartphones and dumb people.
Y'all just want to be in the business, but I mean, I did what I did, so now I got to face it.
Did she say we just want to be in a business? When you picked up your phone, logged on and start filming your dumb ass telling on yourself. Yeah, we want to know. We invested at this point. You told everybody how to go to jail. We want to hear how your ass was in jail now. Yeah, you're right. The fact that she felt bold to tell on herself was crazy. And then you say, how did you even get $400 as a single person? Where did you live? She trying to figure it out herself. Food stamps are not free. Taxpayers pay for that shit. I remember one of my first jobs, I was working at a college doing security, and I remember there's a lady there. Beautiful woman, Spanish lady, my homegirl. We all was from the Bronx working in Manhattan, and being that she was a woman, she was older than me and my homeboy. We was both young, like 18, 19. But she was, older than us at the time. She had to be about in her 30s. So when we ride the train back up to the Bronx from Manhattan, we used to walk her home to make sure she got home safe. Even though she lived up the street from the, we would ride the train with her, ride the bus, and we walk her to her building. And I remember she was telling us, she like, you fall on hard times, just remember, like, if you have, like, you get government assistance, you have to pay that back. Like, I know a lot of people that once they got a job, they start, grabbing that money back that they, put into that shit. So some of these people don't even know that shit. All right, here go another comment. People so mad about food stamps. We literally shouldn't be paying what we have to pay for necessity. A box of cereal is damn near $7. Don't eat cereal. If it wasn't, it's simple economics. If it wasn't a demand for it, they would have to lower the prices, bro. What I don't like is you paying $7. It ain't even a box no more. That joint coming in a bag, And you shouldn't even you fucking living off of that bullshit. It's okay. We live and we learn. And that's why we keep having this stupid behavior, because women will make excuses for other women. Bad decision. Because you want to say, it's okay. We live and we learn. You got to do what you got to do in survival mode. This hoe wasn't in survival mode. And I don't mean to call her a hoe. That's just slip. But this unstable creature was not in survival mode, because as we could see, she had the hair, the lashes, and wanted to pretend like she had money while she living off of our tax dollars. So that ain't no survival mode. That's selfish mode. Selfish mode. Like this chick, she got all types of shit just talking crazy. This one right here is mine.
I'm fucking pissed the fuck off. They cut my motherfucking food stamps to $85 fucking from $738. How the fuck that's supposed to support a household of 3? For a job that barely even support my basic needs now. Like, inflation is high in the bitch, groceries is high as shit. Oh, I'm pissed the fuck off. Like, I'm mad as shit, because how the fuck am I supposed to survive off that shit? So when y'all see me in the motherfucking store selling stuff and that shit in my motherfucking bag, nicely act like you don't see shit and mind your motherfucking business, because this shit is going in my motherfucking bag and I'm walking out this motherfucking store with my mother.
And this is why prices go up, because a lot of these stores got to account for people stealing and doing all this stuff. So as you stealing and then companies is taking a loss, they got to raise the prices on us folks to actually pay for our products.
The fucking chest up in my head held high, and I dare you to try to tell me, hey ma'am, excuse me.
Let me see her. I want to see if she dare me, because I'm going to say, hey, put that shit back.
Because I'm going to look at you like you fucking retarded and say, go talk to Trump about that shit. On my kids, anybody that motherfucking voted for him, girl, fuck you. Or him. Fuck y'all. Because y'all.
Fuck you.
The stupidest.
I said it, and I meant it.
And then the least of your worries is gonna be that $85 in food stamps, because your ass gonna be in jail. Your kid's gonna be in foster care, and that car that you got gonna be repossessed. But that's okay. While you sitting in jail, you could say blame it on Trump. Baby, don't. The government is not required to take care of you and your fucking kids that you decided to have. Why do y'all have all these kids and then always get on the internet to blame the government as to why you can't afford life? Like, that was your fucking choice. As a mother, it's your responsibility to take care of your children. And if you knew by the first child that you didn't have a good enough job, you shouldn't have opened up your legs to have another child. You should have been working on getting a job that would make it your household more stable enough for you to afford having another child. But y'all don't think about that shit. Y'all lay down and pop out these babies, and then make excuses for why you can't get a better, have a better living or have a better job. You just want the government to pay your way. Like the government told you to lay down and have kids that you couldn't afford. Where's the accountability? And where's the baby father? Having all these kids, but where's the father? How can you blame nobody but yourself as to why you're in the predicament that you're in? I used to be on food stamps. I know that food stamps is calculated by how much you get paid and how much you pay in rent and other expenses like how many children you have. That's why you have parents out there that are receiving $800 to thousands of dollars in food stamps. But you're getting on the internet to play victim because you're most likely living outside of your means and not being responsible with your money.
I'm fucking pissed the fuck off. They cut my mother.
That's why I tell you that they get on here, they complain, and she got 3 kids. If I was a betting man, I would bet she at least got 2 baby daddy. But I think she 3 for 3, bro. And I bet you, you know what I mean? We see her out there, her presentation, like I ain't see a cheekbone yet, bro. What's up, Bones? 5341. Respect, welcome to the fam. But I bet you we don't see no cheekbones and shit. Go get a job. And if you was only getting $85, your job would suffice enough that they, like she said, it goes off for all the other things that you're doing. But they sitting here and they crying because they feel that they entitled to these government benefits. It is a blessing that you don't need it or that you don't qualify, because that means you're doing, you know what I mean? You're doing decent for yourself at most. Because I know people that really need this shit and they don't get it. Shout out to Melvin, like you said, pure fucking greed, man. I'm not gonna lie. I was against the whole big, beautiful bill because I didn't think it was fair to take away food stamps from people. I assume they really need it, but this is eye open. Bro, I'm gonna open your eyes some more, man, because you're gonna see it. Once I find out you're not taking it from elderly, you're not taking it from disability, people with disability, they're not taking it from veterans, you're not even taking it from women that have children under 7. You know what I mean? Newborn, if they got newborns and shit, they're giving them more money towards the tax reduction. Sure, they're not going to see it right away, but if you pay attention to what's in the big beautiful bill, it's the same exact shit that Kamala Harris was campaigning for. That's why I tell you, right wing, left wing, same damn bird. Pay attention. Go back and research when she was saying you have a kid, you're going to get that tax credit for the first years. And I should not go look at the big, beautiful bill and you will see in it, it's saying you're going to get a tax credit for the kids that you have from 2026 and all that and shit. Because they want us to build our economy. We'll bring it back, this shit, and building up our nation. They're crying over the border, in my opinion, because more people are coming into the country that's going to change some people from being a minority that in the future they will become, well, some people that's the majority in the future, they will become the minority, and they don't want that. But that's just my conspiracy theory. But this crazy ass, entitled, lazy ass is crazy. Like Linda73 said in her comments it's like they don't understand the assistant. It's just that, assistance. It is there for you for temporary use until you could get on your feet. Then somebody said, I wish somebody give me $85. And girl, me too, because my fat ass eat that shit up during the week, running back and forth to the Twisted Crab at different store. And then this chick said, and I voted for him again. And said, food stamps are not meant to support a household. It is a supplemental program to help you. You're supposed to do that and be an adult. That is true. It is hard up for short times and not a handout. Yep, it's to help you. It's a hand up, not a handout. I like that. I feel most people, I'm reading Melvin comment, I still feel most people need it. I thought most states, and it's another thing with this big, beautiful bill. It ain't saying that they're cutting the stamp. They're saying the federal government is limiting their resources. The state government, your local government, can still give it at their level. They just gonna have to contribute more to it than getting federal funding. The same way like when they said Planned Parenthood is being defunded, then when you read into it, it's only being defunded for 1 year. But we could go on and this one, like I said, this chick is the gift that keep giving.
Go get a job. Go get a regular job. You're so lazy. Why would I go out and get a job where I have to work when I make more money sitting at home on welfare than you do working 50 hours a week, never there with your kids, always stressed out, always tired, with a college degree? I'm making more than you. And it's your job as a taxpayer to support me and my 6 children anyways. So no, I'm not going to go out and get a job. I get more in food stamps every month than your 2-week paycheck. I get more than over $4,000 a month in food stamps alone. That doesn't include the $2,200 a month in cash benefits I get every month. That doesn't include my Section 8 being paid. So my $1,100 rent, I don't pay. I pay $80 out of $1,100 every month. On top of 7 disability checks. $920 times 7. Add it up. That's why I'm not going to go get a regular job. To everyone telling me, go get a job.
That this is our opening to hear how they sit there and bragging. And this be the joke and shit, like you work hard, right? And then like somebody said they hate food stamp
y'all, this is why. This is why. This is why. Cause what? 3 carts full, y'all. Let me pass her a receipt. This joint said, y'all, they didn't even buy it. And that's what making me even more mad. And everything won't even rung up yet, y'all. $1,013.
I ain't gonna hold you. That's a lot of shit for $1,000. Cause nowadays you go in there for $1,000, you coming out with fucking 3 bags.
This is why. This is why I be mad at work. This is why I don't want to work on the 1st, or the 2nd, or the 3rd, or the 4th. This.
Some top comment said, be transferred my $23 from savings to my checking account. But I work at the grocery store. I could tell almost every time if somebody was paying with EBT or not from what was in their cart. But it's crazy. I don't even remember the last time I was able to pay 1 full cart full of groceries. This is like I showed this to open up the eyes of a lot of people who didn't realize that while a lot of Americans are struggling, it's people sitting there. Yeah, I do, Melvin, I do believe that other lady that was on there talking, she full of shit. I believe she capping. She just talking on her app. It's starting to pay, so she running that shit. But it is some getting like 4,000 in food stamp, bro. Cause they be in Walmart and shit trying to sell the shit, bro. They be in there selling shit. Like this is a good one right here that I was looking at earlier where the girl said this shit, where we get into the Section 8 thing next with the generational, why they saying you can only be on Section 8 for 2 years, because people was doing that shit on some generational shit, you know?
I grew up thinking that you were supposed to spend food stamps. I'm supposed to get food stamps. Come to find out, no, you not. You ain't supposed to get no food stamps. You supposed to not get food. The goal is to not get food stamps. And by all means, I'm not docking nobody who get food stamps. I want some food stamps.
Me too.
People who don't get food stamps want food stamps. Okay? But the ideology to think that you are entitled to these things and they're supposed to do this for you is completely wrong. You're seriously misguided. And I'm here to tell you that that is not the normal, that is not what goes on in the normal world. In the normal world, the real world, where people actually work for what they have, that's not what's going on. Okay? So when I say that women lack accountability when it comes...
Let me cut it off for a second. Shout out to Honey 365 for all of y'all out there. Go subscribe to her YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. Show love to her.
Comes down to having multiple children, and then you use the I'm doing the best I can saying to justify your behavior. No, because if you're doing the best that you can, you would stop. You would look and I grew up thinking that you was supposed to spend food.
Now, what I'm pretty sure she's gonna say, if you're doing the best you can, you would do good by your children by stop just having fucking babies and shit and bringing them into poverty. You will stop doing that. You would make the proper decisions and put them on a path that they're not coming in at a disadvantage, you know?
I'm supposed to get.
It's like this, right?
Okay, y'all just mad because I get 3 canned food stamps. So what? I get all kind of snacks while I'm sitting here chilling or whatever, paying no bills. No bills. I'm on government assistance. My son back there with his snacks. Government assistance, 3 canned food. Okay, y'all just mad because I get 3 canned food stamps.
They cut her food stamps, by the way, because I've seen that shit. Somebody did it on another YouTube channel where they showed that she was. But as you can see, all I did was hit food stamps, right? And they got 43,000 posts, you know? Where these people are talking and bragging about how they got. Now look at this.
Come up, look. Get on your knee, let me put a cow up in your throat. Put a hole, let me see you drop it to the floor. I'm real freak, I'm finna jump off the fucking.
I know that shit is probably fucking copywritten, so I'm gonna get off that. But if you could see, I be happy swiping my EBT Unlimited card. 7 kids, yes, we're eating. I'm not paying cash. And she buying them bullshit, oodles and noodles and shit. And I gotta buy that shit because I don't get EBT, you know? That other chick, she capping, bro. Like, I call her the gift that keep on giving, but I think she full of shit, though. And then it be like this. These chicks here see some free shit, they be running around bragging about getting some free shit instead of getting off their ass. Scammers got their ass too, be stealing their fucking food stamps. Right, look at this shit while I go to the bathroom.
Let's go to Costco, family of 6 that receives food stamps. Did you grab the keys out of the car? I'm gonna go look for trash cans because mine broke and I really want the side-by-side ones. So let's go see if they have them. Buddy, grab it. Hi. Just 2. Yeah. I mean, can you even pick that up? Yes. Oh my gosh, muscles. So they didn't have the trash can that I wanted, so I'll just have to order it on Amazon. All right. Are you okay? Yeah. These kids are absolutely driving me bonkers in the store. Sure. Put it on the bottom, please. You have to lay it down, baby. Come on. Yep. Awesome. Thank you so much. It only took us like an hour in and out of Costco. Stuck to my list pretty well. And ended up spending $375, and then we have to go pick up a Walmart order for $65, $440 total. It wasn't enough that I spent $440, but Walmart decided to not give me some of my items, so I'm gonna run into Target real quick and grab the rest of what I need. The sunset is so gorgeous tonight. I just spent another $75 at Target. 30 of it was food stamps and the other 45 was my own money. Let's go to Costco, family of 6 that receives food stamps. Did you grab the keys out of the car? I'm gonna go look for trash cans because mine broke and I really want the side-by-side ones. So let's go see if they have them. Buddy, grab it.
Probably replayed whining, but
Hi.
check on my kid. Let's see.
Hey y'all, for everybody who out there selling them food stamps, from now on, if you get caught, it's a state jail felony. Say for instance, you selling your food stamps and you loan somebody else your card, they gonna spend money off of there. It is a state jail felony to sell your food stamps now if they catch you. That's called food stamp fraud. Hey, they have locked up a lot of people behind this shit. I don't know if y'all seen that video where they went to that apartment complex and started locking up everybody for food stamp fraud. If you selling food stamps, if you loaning somebody your food stamp card and they are caught with your card, both of y'all are being charged. That is a charge. I didn't know that. I didn't know that you can go to jail if you say, hey, I want to loan you some of my food stamps. You have to physically go into the store with that person and buy the food.
See why they've had to put that provision in there? Because it's people selling food stamps and all types of shit, you know? People getting over, people mad that they can't buy junk food. But what did I point out to you? All these motherfuckers on these food stamps, no, none of them look like they, you know, all of them is looking fat as hell, you know? I'm not afraid to... I know that's copywritten. We ain't gonna look at that.
So now people that receive EBT and food stamps are not going to be allowed to buy junk food with EBT or food stamps? I see something that stated that the Trump administration was stopping people who receive EBT or food stamps to stop buying any junk food or high processed food items with their EBT and food stamps. And if they are going to put this rule in place, they just need to decrease the price of healthy foods, okay? Because healthy foods are so high. That's why people shop and buy things that they can afford, aka junk food and high processed foods, because they are trying to make their food stamps benefits stretch the whole month. So towards the end of the month, the kids might be eating oodles and noodles or TV dinners or whatever else or sandwiches with chips.
I don't even think they count that as junk food, sweetheart. They accounting, goddamn, these fat chicks out there buying goddamn honey buns.
All right,
and
Josh,
shit.
I just want to give y'all some information about the ones who receive EBT. They said Georgia-wise only. So yesterday I tried to swipe my card and it said it was declined, knowing I had stamps on my card. Yesterday I wasn't able to check my balance on the app because it was a Sunday. I figured because it was the weekend, it wouldn't let me check.
But as I was showing y'all, man, this shit goes on and on there, like the Section 8 shit, you know? Let's hear.
The people crashing out over the big beautiful bill haven't even read the big beautiful bill. It's 800
That's a fact.
pages. Did you read it?
990. And 40.
Who just want to pick out pieces like the Medicaid part, talking about everybody deserves health care. Yeah, everybody does deserve health care. But Medicaid is not a universal program. This is in Canada. Universal health care is in Canada. You can go move there if you want universal health care. But in the United States, Medicaid was a government program for seniors and people who were disabled. Your whole family shouldn't be on Medicaid. Your whole family shouldn't be on Section 8. The free train, the free loading train, has come to an end. Read the big beautiful bill, all 870 pages, before you jump on here crying about what Trump's doing. You can get Medicaid if you're not disabled or if you're not a senior. You just have to have a work requirement. You can get EBT and SNAP benefits, but you can only get it for 2 years. You can get a Section 8 voucher for 2 years. Not you, your kid, your kid's kids, your grandma, your auntie. That's not what it is. That's why you're really mad. Tell the truth. Because we already know. Because all that free shit that you've been getting hasn't been free. Taxpayers have been paying for it. You know, the ones who work. The ones who have barely any food in their refrigerators while you guys do food hauls from Walmart talking about you got $3,000 in food stamps. You have to get a job now. Or if you want your whole family on Medicaid, go to Canada, because there's some really great things in the 870 pages of that big, beautiful bill. So one of them is no tax on tips, no tax on overtime. So when you get your job and you work overtime, it won't be taxed like it is now. Do y'all know how much they tax overtime? Like 50%. That's gone away. All of the servers in the world who get like shit tips, you won't have to be taxed on them anymore. So maybe you'll bring home more money. I think that's a win. And for all of the people who are buying cars or have car loans that you probably don't want to pay back, there's not going to be any more tax on the interest from your car loan. So where's the
All right, there is tax on it. You just get to file. You get to claim those taxes like how you claim the interest on your house. You get to claim the interest on your car too as a deductible towards your income tax. So, you know, it'll lower your tax bill that you got your taxable income. So, you know, that's a little correction on that.
He's taking the Medicaid and he's making tax breaks for the rich people. Read it. The other thing is, Medicaid is for people who need Medicaid. It's not for you losers who are sitting at home making bullshit TikToks and then being mad because you're not making any money on it. You're providing no value. So, when you want to complain about Trump's big, beautiful bill and literally get on social media crying about your Medicaid is gone, first of all, it hasn't even gone into effect, so stop lying. That's first of all. Second of all, if you're not a senior and you're not disabled,
it goes into effect in 2026. And I think it's December. I got to double check, but I think it's December 2026. Let me Google that shit. I'll let it play while I Google it.
the big beautiful bill just tells you, as it relates to Medicaid, you got to work a certain amount of hours. The Section 8 that you generationally hand down to your whole family is over. You can't do that anymore because there are American citizens who actually qualify for Medicaid and Section 8 and EBT and couldn't get it because you've been on it for 20 years. And for all of you people who are talking about, oh, what are we going to do? Well, you should be happy about the big beautiful bill because now the illegal migrants can't get your shit. And maybe if the illegal migrants go back to their home, there'll be jobs for you to get. So you don't have to be at home begging for money, okay? So let me know down in the comments. Did you guys read the big beautiful bill? Have you read all 870 pages, or are you just saying what everybody else is saying? The same group of people talking about crying that your Medicaid is gone. Like well-bodied people.
I'll pull it up on the screen so y'all can see when it takes effect. I see I'm doing it with y'all, man. We in it together. Yeah. When will the key aspects of Trump's big beautiful bill take effect? From the 7th.
When will key aspects of Trump's big beautiful bill take effect? By Alejandra of Connell Domnich. President Trump signed his sweeping tax cut and spending package known as the Big Beautiful Bill into law during a 4th of July celebration on Friday. The measure boosts defense and border wall funding and makes Trump's 2017 tax cuts permanent, offsetting some of those costs with deep cuts to Medicaid, food assistance programs, student loans, and clean energy programs. Some of the law's key pieces will take effect later this year, while others will not be implemented until well after midterm elections. Here are when the biggest parts of the new law will take effect: Medicaid reforms. Among the bill's most contentious parts are its reforms to Medicaid, the joint federal and state program that provides health insurance coverage to low-income Americans. A number of Republicans were worried about the cuts to Medicaid, with some saying the party risked political backlash by adopting the cuts since many GOP voters could be affected by them. The question may be how many of those voters feel the effects before November 2026. Roughly 16 million people could lose their health insurance coverage by 2034 due to cuts to Medicaid and changes to the Affordable Care Act marketplace, according to the Congressional Budget Office. Americans could also lose their coverage due to new work requirements for the program. Under the law, adults between the ages of 19 and 64 will need to work at least 80 hours a month to qualify for Medicaid coverage unless they qualify for certain exemptions. Some adults will be exempt from the new work requirements if they have dependent children or have certain medical conditions. Medicaid's funding changes under the law are not scheduled to take effect until 2028, well past the upcoming 2026 midterm elections. Some work requirements could come earlier, however. They are to begin no later than December 31, 2026. Changes to food assistance. The law will change the country's largest food assistance program, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program.
As you hear, a lot of this stuff will be 2028 and 2034. So a lot of this stuff ain't even going to come in effect almost 9 years from now. And who knows if this bill will still be active by then, because we will have multiple presidents by then, or at least one more by then.
Program SNAP, formerly known as food stamps. Like Medicaid, SNAP will also undergo funding and work requirement changes. In the past, the federal government has funded the program while states have taken on the cost of managing it. Under the bill's conditions, states will be required to partially fund SNAP if they have a payment error rate of 6% or higher beginning in 2028, 2 years after the midterms. However, the law also allows states with payment error rates of 13.34 or higher to delay paying for the program for 2 additional years. Previously, most adults had to work until age 54 to qualify for SNAP unless they were a parent with dependents. Now, the working age to stay in the program has been raised to 64, and only parents with children younger than 14 are exempt from the requirement, according to the law. The law does not specifically state when the updated work requirements will begin to take effect, but a spokesperson for the Senate Republicans said there is no delayed implementation in the law. A spokesperson for the U.S. Department of Agriculture has yet to respond to questions from the Hill about the new enforcement requirement. New tax cuts. The law paves the way for numerous tax changes, with the most significant being to the cuts Trump enacted during his first term in 2017. Those expiring tax cuts are permanent, effective immediately. Under the law, Americans living in high-tax states such as New York and California will receive larger income tax deductions for state and local taxes, otherwise known as SALT, beginning this year and lasting until 2028. Republicans will be selling these tax cuts aggressively, since people who qualify for the cuts will feel them well ahead of the midterm elections. Some tax provisions will impact working-class voters. Starting this year, tip amounts of less than $25,000 will be tax-deductible through 2028. There is a cap for the deduction of $150,000 income or $300,000 for people filing jointly, according to the law. The law also changes when overtime pay will be tax-deductible. Starting this year, up to $12,500 of extra overtime pay is tax-deductible until 2028. Again, there is an income limit of $150,000 a year for a single person or $300,000 for those filing jointly. Changes to the child tax credit will also take effect this year. Now, the child tax credit is $2,200 for every qualifying child. The amount will also be adjusted for inflation starting next year. Changes to the senior deduction also take effect this year. Beginning this year until 2028, Americans older than 65 can deduct an additional $6,000 on their tax returns. Rollbacks to green energy. The law eliminates numerous tax incentives from the 2022 Inflation Reduction Act for clean energy and energy efficiency programs. Under the law, $7,500 tax credits for electric vehicles will be eliminated starting September 30th of this year, well ahead of the midterms. It also eliminates a $3,200 tax credit for Americans making energy improvement changes to their homes beginning in 2026, and ends tax credits for Americans who make investments in clean energy sources for their homes, including solar panels, fuel cells, or battery storage technology starting next year. The law also ends the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund, which helps finance local emissions reduction projects beginning this year. Although it appears that current contracts under the program will remain in place, changes to higher education, the bill will make some changes to how Americans finance higher education. Grad Plus loans, as well as repayment options like the Save Plan and Income Contingent Repayment and Pay-as-you-earn plans, will be scrapped and replaced with a Repayment Assistance Plan or a Standard Repayment Plan. Grad Plus loans will be replaced with new borrowing caps of $100,000 for many grad students and $200,000 for professional students, such as those enrolled in medical schools or law schools. For undergraduate students, Stafford loans will remain capped, and Parent Plus loans now have a reduced lifetime cap of $65,000. All of the loan changes are set to take effect in July of 2026. The law also changes tax rates for colleges based on the size of their endowments. In 2026, schools with higher endowments per student will receive higher tax rates on their endowment. Schools with endowments between $500,000 and $750,000 will have a tax rate of 1.4%. Those with endowments of $750,000 to $2 million now have a tax rate of 4%, and those with more than $2 million will be taxed at 8%.
I ain't gonna lie. The little basics that they show right there, I agree with where they just need to put caps on the amount that they let you even borrow for these student loans, because they're getting over They getting over on us in the American public, letting us go into a debt for a degree, going 200,000 in debt, and you getting a degree that you only gonna make 40,000 a year, 50,000 a year. I think that's hustling backwards. You know, like she said, she pointed.
People, like strong people, not seniors, crying on this app because you don't get free shit anymore. Let me know down in the comments who's down for the big beautiful bill and who's making up shit and or not even reading it and have no idea what they're talking about. And don't get me started on alligator Alcatraz, because I'm gonna make a whole video about that too.
Yeah, I remember before he gave separate funding to the HBCUs, so you already know how he gonna do. You know how he do. He takes shit away, then he give it back to be like, look what I did, you know?
But let me know down the
he fighting them Ivy League schools now because he mad over the protesting. So he been trying his best to defund them Ivy League schools.
Comments. Are you for the big beautiful bill or are you one of the whiners and complainers? Did I miss something? Because I actually read it.
On this channel, we played it while they read it out loud. Yeah, that's crazy. This one, I like it.
I'm so happy that Section 8 changing the requirement. Now you can only be on there for 2 years. And thank the freaking Lord. Cause it be so many cases where folks dead ass be on that thing for years. It be to the point they children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren be on their freaking leave. That's why the waiting list always be so freaking long. Now, a lot of laws I don't agree with, but that's here nor there. But that one, yes, I definitely agree. Give other people a chance. So now you got 2 years to rake your stuff up, unless you disabled. If you disabled, this don't apply to you. And I feel that's gonna drop sooner or later too. But hey, that's here nor there. But they actually doing something that's making sense. I said what I said. I bet y'all start getting y'all lazy asses up now.
If you read the comments on there, almost every college over 2 million in endowments. But yeah, I agree with you, Rubik's Cube. Like some of the comments said, I know someone that got the nerve to say she been on it for 30 years. WTH. And then the response is exactly the way I feel. You know, actually, that is for the new holders and people that's already on it, is already locked into their original contract. So he's saying the people that's already locked in, that's grandfathered into that shit. This chick, I ain't even want to click on her shit no more. She just a gift to keep on giving. But this one right here was wild.
Not getting no job. If you go get a job, they're gonna take my Section 8. Then you won't be able to get no Section 8. You're not going to get no job. They're gonna count your income against my Section 8 and my link card. You're not working. No. So I don't care what you gotta say. I don't care how you feel. You're not working. You're not going to get a job. You're not going to school. You're not doing none of that shit.
Wait, Ma, I'm saying how I'm supposed to be successful in life, Ma. So you basically telling me I gotta be broke to be successful. I gotta be broke so I can get Section 8.
You gotta be
so
broke so the government can help you.
So the government can help me. So you telling me I can't work no job, bro? Like that's like all my friends got jobs and live in nice houses. So you telling me I got to go through the same thing you went through?
If you
to have a
don't
house?
do any of that, they're going to take my Section 8.
How?
And I'm
Won't
trying
they
to
be
tell
like?
you
Won't
that
they
you
be?
can go get yours at ease. You can go get a
They will.
nice house.
No, they will look at that and be like, he's doing something and give me a bigger house, Ma. That's what you told me.
Where I'm gonna go?
I don't
have no job.
I can get off your Section 8 and apply for my own Section 8.
But if you do that, you're gonna have to go the hard way. It's gonna take a long.
So what? That's what I'm
Wait
saying.
a few months, get on Section 8, find you a nice apartment, go get you a link card. You will be fine. You don't have to sit up and work. You don't have to work no job. The government is here to help us. Not getting no job. If you go get a job, they're.
So I will say this, my personal beliefs is that this is a sketch, but it's art imitating life. It is people out there that this is exactly what they teach. But I'm from New York. We used to have a saying back in the day that said welfare queens. And that's because they teach their kids to just, bunk the system. And like you could look at her, the way he sounds, she don't even sound like she old enough to have a kid. his age, but you never know. Like the comments said, baby, get out ASAP, go to school, make a life for yourself, get out from underneath the government. And this is exactly how kids end up doing illegal shit for money. Other one. The goal is to get off of Section 8, not get comfortable. Shaking heads. Section 8 is made for people. It's made to keep people down, not up. That's what I was telling y'all earlier when I was talking to Melvin. Like, yo, a lot, like when you go through it, you see why a lot of this shit got put into effect, because there's so many people taking advantage of the system and being dependent on the system that, and then they come on here and make videos, you know, so you can see how they just taken away from.
I went into a lady's house for an inspection, and she said, I've had my voucher for 50 years. I made sure that I got my daughter on a voucher. I made sure I got my granddaughter on a voucher. I couldn't get my son on a voucher, so I told them that he had asthma. You can't prove asthma or migraines. She told me because she was telling me a way to scam the system. Because when I pull up in a 2013 Toyota Camry. There's usually a Lexus or BMW sitting in their yard. I look poor, okay? I look poor. And so many people tell me stuff to give me ideas to help me out so that I can get some money from the government. But y'all keep on thinking I don't know it, okay? And since every one of you are going to ask me, yes, I reported it. But if your caseworker likes you, you are pretty untouchable here. Like, they will give you ideas and help you do it. I went into a lady's house for an inspection.
As always, I read the comments on it. First one, I worked for several years at housing as maintenance. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I heard all of that. And I also watched them party, fight, and have sexual relationships with each other and drive new vehicles and children with no slice of with no sense of respect or was entitled. I lived in Section 8 housing for several years in high school. It is most definitely generational. They encourage their daughters to have kids in high school so that they get in the system without a chance of ever leaving. It is crazy how they promote the dysfunction. I refuse to click on her shit. But I hate this Bionic shit. I hate that one.
So I am reading that Section 8 is now limited to 2 years. So you mean to tell me after 2 years, these families have to have a plan or something in progress, because after 2 years, it's a wrap. Which it should have been did like that, because you got girls that's coming up after these people that's probably been in Section 8, 10, 15, 20 years. Some people get on Section 8 and they never come out. They like get comfortable with their living situation and low rent, so they don't never come out. So this generation now that's growing up can't even get in because the older ones is there. So I understand it. Like, I get it. I really get it. And it's also a good thing that, well, I don't know, since Trump put you got to work at least 80 hours, he need to put some more funding in daycare. He need to open up the daycare list and do daycare just like they do anything else. You got to get the daycares open, because you requiring everybody to work 80 hours in order to receive food stamps.
She said she read it, but obviously you ain't read it, right? Because it said your kid has to be over the age of 8. What doggone daycare are you sending an 8-year-old? They're going to regular school at that point. They're going to regular school. And I can't wait till we get out of this whole fashion statement, ladies, of these stupid ass eyelashes. Take the dumb shit off your face, man. You can't say you love yourself and gotta doctor yourself up like this, man. But you don't have to put money into daycare because your kid should be going to regular elementary school by the age of 8. I have a 8-year-old. He's about to be 9 in a few days, right? Next week he'll be 9. But he's in the 3rd grade. I'm not sending him to daycare, and I have to pay for before care. Now, if you want to invest in that, but if you only got to work part-time, you can get a job around his schedule, around your child's schedule. Go ahead.
Well, mind you, some people ain't got no babysitter. Some people ain't even got, you know what I'm saying? Different people got different situations, so they got to open up them daycare lists with whatever they do. But I noticed in Georgia, it only take like 45 days to get your daycare. But in North Carolina, where I'm from, oh, baby, you liable to be on that list 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Because
and that's bullshit because your kid ain't even going to be daycare age at that point. But like I said, the law, because she claims she read it, which obviously the more she talk, we know she didn't read it. She would know that it's the age of 8 and above that you have to go work 80 hours a month. That's 4 hours a day, depending on your schedule. Literally a part-time job that you have to go get a part-time, and it don't even have to be a paying part-time job. It could be volunteering. You could go to school. You have to do more than sit on your ass all day.
they don't have no funding. So if they're going to do the 80 hours a month, we need more funding for childcare. Please and thank you. Goodbye. So I am reading that.
I got to leave a comment because that pissed me off just now. It's a good thing that she read, but it's I ain't even going to do it. It's a good thing that she claims she read, but she ain't read the damn bill because she would have seen that it's for damn, if your kid is 8 years old, you got to go work, volunteer, or go to school. You can't sit on your ass all day. But like the comment said, 2 years is plenty of time to get it together. Exactly. That's a good thing in my opinion. And one girl said that I wish people who are on assistance stop thinking that we are hating. I think it's a great thing. It gives people the opportunity to get back on their feet and move on with their life and give people who need it the same opportunity. Only people who are codependent on this program see this as a problem. That, you know, the people that's codependent, what she's meaning is to explain it, because I'm going to lay it where the goats can get it. You know, that means that y'all think that it's a problem that you can't get on your feet in 2 years, man. Get out there and get it, man. This shit looks terrible.
Trump says Section 8 is only for the disabled and the veterans. I know y'all mad. Y'all steady in my comments. Oh, so what about the single mothers? What about you? If you wasn't laying down with Tom, Dick, and Harry, you wouldn't have no worries. You would have a good man at home, taking care of the bills and you as he should. But instead, you want to be in the street, in the club, bouncing and throwing it all in a circle and meeting whoever just to come lay between your legs, give you a baby, then he gone. And then you expect for government to give a damn about you? You need to do something different with your life and stop worrying about if the government is going to assist you with certain things that you feel as though you need to survive in life. He don't owe you nothing. Stop reporting them. Stop. I seen a lady in my comments today talking about, we working to get you blocked off of TikTok right now. You always got something to say about us on Section 8. Well, do something different with your life, lady. If it bothers you that much and you sick of people talking about you like a dog, then do something about it. That's all I got to tell you. Clock that. Trump says Section 8 is...
I agree with him. Like he said, I'm going to give it to the people that is really, that you're a veteran, you served your country, you made the ultimate sacrifice. You know, If you disable, okay, now we understand that you're unable to contribute at the capacity that you want to. We're going to take care of you. But for all of y'all that think that you deserve a participation trophy and a reward because you had a child, no, you need to get out there and support your child, and you need to be held accountable for your decisions. Like Shit said, I was a single mother. This is the first top comment. I was a single mother and I didn't have Section 8, no food stamps, no nothing. People need to get off their tails and take care of it. So that's called handling your responsibility. Most men ain't gonna get nothing because nobody gives a damn if a man is. We go outside right now. If I was to go right outside, if I get off this live and I go driving down the street to where any homeless people is at, we're gonna see more men out there homeless because there's nothing in the structure to take care of a man that fell on a hard time or going through the shit. There's no building excuses for men because you pushed out a baby, something that took no effort, because you took all that pleasure. The rest of us are supposed to take care of it. No, and you feel entitled to that. And then, like they said, I feel the same way about Section 8. Like I feel like somebody that owe me money. You owe me money, I shouldn't be seeing you getting fat. I shouldn't be seeing you wearing designer clothes and shit. You shouldn't be wearing Gucci and Prada and I gotta shop at TJ Maxx and Marshalls while you shopping at Neiman Marcus, you know? So I feel that's a sign of disrespect to the system. So I agree that it should be some type of cap and a limit on it. And that's the thing. Y'all make these stupid ass TikTok videos telling on yourself. So y'all should be booted off because
my food stamps went from $4,400 in food stamps every month to $38. What am I supposed to get with $38 with 6 kids? How the hell am I supposed to support my kids on $38 in food stamps? Not to mention our disability checks on hold. Our Section 8, my rent isn't getting paid tomorrow. So I have to come up with $1,100. Okay? I am allergic to work. I can't work. I refuse to work. The whole reason I had kids.
I agree. We are supposed to protect the women and children. Oh, no. The women, what I'm saying is we need to build back up the nuclear family where it's man, women, and children. We need to build that back up. You talk to me about it. When I was fucking up, you was one of the people that said I need to get my shit together.
Was the amount of government benefits that you get for one child. And now, with the dependent age being 7 and younger, none of my kids are dependents now. None of them, because they're all older than 7. So how am I supposed to live? How do
I mean, while they in school, you need to take your ass and go do. Well, I mean, she's married, so I know she's full of shit. This is just all rage bait to get because her husband works, so she still qualifies for that shit. She might not qualify for the thousands of dollars she lying about getting, but she still qualified by how the Trump bill goes. And she's getting paid off of TikTok, but she's just doing this shit really to rage bait people. She live right now. I bet you she on there talking some bullshit. Let's see. I don't even know how to do the live on here. Shit, I'm just clicking. I don't even know how to do
my food stamps went from $4,400 in food stamps every month.
Why she put that shit as welfare king? I clicked on this to see what the fuck do welfare queen pull up. Wow, this is welfare queen.
I don't think laziness is an actual thing.
Yes, I'm with you on that, and I will die on that hill. The whole notion of laziness was invented to guilt trip people who wouldn't be coerced into exploitative labor. Like, we're so alienated from work that our society...
It's a such thing as fucking laziness. Like, see what I mean? This is the type of stuff I say. People will put out some dumb propaganda to make excuses for their dumbass behavior. Let me see. Let's get back to Section 8. Welfare Queens. And the crazy shit, most places where you could take Section 8 to, it ain't places you really want to live.
Trump said you are no longer obligated to make 3 times the rent in order to move somewhere. Now, y'all, that just didn't make sense to me, because a while back I was trying to figure out, like, I know they're trying to make it to where, oh, we want to make sure that you are able to, you know, pay your bills and still provide for yourself at the same time, so there's no excuses as to why you shouldn't be able to pay rent. But come on, man. I think a lot of landlords is finna be ticked off and mad because of the simple fact, if your rent is $1,700, let's say the rent $2,000, you want me to make $6,000 a month?
Yeah.
You want me to make $6,000 a month?
I ain't saying that, but you only supposed to spend. Not saying this, you could do that shit, but when they say good budgeting, you only supposed to spend 30% of your income on housing.
Just to be able to...
So technically, that's 33% if you're saying your rent is $2,000 and you make $6,000. That's 33%. So you're 3% over, but you're still in that realm. So yeah, that's actually pretty correct.
To pay $2,000 a month in bills. It really doesn't make sense to me. So I know a lot of landlords ticked off and they finna be mad because that's law. And I don't give a damn what people say, oh, well, Trump can't tell the landlord what to do. Hey, if Trump put a law in effect and he says it's law, y'all. If Congress passes it, a lot of people about to be in trouble. God bless y'all, man. Trump said you are no longer...
I had to make that a pin comment because Rubik Cube is absolutely right. We supposed to protect women and children. I thought she was going to actually say something.
Trump said you only get 2 years on Section 8 now. Now, I know a lot of y'all don't want to hear this, but it's too many lazy women laying around depending on Section 8 for the rest of their life. It's finally approved, so get ready. For all the ones who've been on there already, you probably going to get maybe a year to figure out what it is you're going to do with the rest of your existence. Because most of y'all don't care about nothing else but Section 8 going to pay this. Section 8 going to pay that. Section 8 going to help me do this. Section 8 ain't going to do nothing but hinder you and keep you down as low as they possibly can so that you never elevate. And a lot of y'all making money up under the table thinking, oh, they never gonna find out. They never gonna do this. They never gonna do that. You're gonna find out real soon that your kids are gonna become a part of poverty because of you, because you don't want nothing more. People laugh at me, oh, you make these videos on TikTok. Well, sweetheart, TikTok paid me way more than you sitting on your ass every day in that house. TikTok pays me way more than a lot of y'all jobs that pay y'all. So I'm going to continue to make these videos. I'm going to continue to educate people. And for the ones who don't like it, I still love you. God bless you. And God bless America. Trump said Section 8 and...
I love Section 8 housing. These are all rent increases that have been approved.
So a lot of y'all keep asking Peach, how can I get Section 8? So a lot of y'all keep asking Peach, how can I get Section 8 quick? Well, getting Section 8 is really, really hard. Because when motherfuckers get it, they don't never get off.
See? That's why I said they make these videos telling on themselves. Because when they get it, they never get off. They don't use it as a stepping stone. They use it as they made it to the top of the mountain.
I don't blame them. But what you want to do is you want to find an open wait list. Like this is a list of Section 8 wait lists that are currently open. And you want to apply.
All right.
Let's do a living in the projects home tour. I'm going to
I don't want to live in no fucking projects.
show y'all my
Call
home.
me bougie.
So first things first, you know you live in the projects when you don't have a deadbolt lock. I only got one lock because if they want to get in, they can get in. So I got this stick and I got this alarm thing. So I turn it on and if anybody open this door, it's going to go beep, 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 beep. So yeah, this is my door. And as you can see, it's green. And as you can see, the walls are yellow. Next, this is my coat closet. The door doesn't work, so I have to pick it up to open it. But I'm not going to do that because ain't no coats in there. It's storage. This is my kitchen. This is my stove, and as you can see, this is our fire extinguisher. Yeah. My water heater is in the kitchen. And no.
You must be in the South. But, let's go.
I don't have a dishwasher. I have to wash these by hand.
So a lot of y'all
Let's do a...
You should have to fucking wash the dish by hand. You live in a project. She want luxury living for free.
A living in the projects home tour. They were gold at all. But anyway, this door is really hallway closet, which is dirty. We all have to have it. And it doesn't come with and then this one is broke. And this is my living room. In the kitchen.
Okay, that's what we was at.
And no, I don't have a dishwasher. I have to wash these by hand. This is my dining room. And this is my living room. I have a wall AC unit. I cover it because the cold air from outside comes in through it. And it's already 12 degrees outside. This is my heater.
EBT up north.
And it burns the blinds. And also, as you can see, when I moved in, they gave me blinds with tape on it. And broken blinds. You can't even tell which one broke.
Yo, you living for free. Take your money that you get and build them new blinds instead of complaining. You're living for free. My blinds broke right now and I bought this house, bro. I could have bought blinds 1,000 times over. I mean, I don't even think about it and shit until I see it. Cause like, I don't know. I ain't the woman of the house. That ain't my job. You tell me how much it costs, I give you the money, you go about your way.
This one. And then this one is broke down here. It's a whole gap. As you can see, it's right there. Because they haven't gave me...
I know y'all judging me about my blinds. I'm lazy in moments. Just a different kind of lazy. Like I said, she got all fucking whelms to do whatever the hell she want to do with the house. All I got is this YouTube studio. The rest of that shit, you tell me the price, I give you the money. It's her shit. Yeah, she do got a terrible landlord because they didn't give her a goddamn dishwasher.
New blinds. They just gave me the old blinds from the first person. This is how I've decorated my living room. And it doesn't come with any light fixtures for the living room, so I had to get a lamp.
I ain't gonna lie, I bought this house and I think that's the dumbest shit. How you doing your tenants? Because you got tenants, Rubik's Cube. My house upstairs don't got no ceiling lights. We gotta use lamps. I think that was pretty fucking stupid. Whoever designed and built this house, except for in the bathroom. The bathroom got light fixtures and the hallway and shit. But the bedrooms, you gotta use lamps. I think that shit's pretty stupid.
So a lot of y'all keep.
Oh man,
Let's do a living in the projects home dirty. Sleeping here, as you can see, there go his. And then this one is broke down here. It's a whole gap. As you can see, it's right there.
I'm gonna fix my shit
they haven't
tomorrow.
gave me new blinds. They just gave me the old blinds from the first person. This is how I've decorated my living room. And it doesn't come with any light fixtures for the living room, so I had to get a lamp. Yeah. This is the voice speak box. It doesn't work. Only button work is door. So if somebody rings the doorbell,
I ain't gonna lie, that's the oldest shit.
And
I ain't gonna lie, that intercom, like the rest of the house looked pretty nice. That intercom looked crazy. Now I want to put a ceiling fan in my master bedroom. I got this big ass vaulted ceiling, but it ain't shit up there. I got a stupid ass. I had to put a lamp in there. Like upstairs is no lamp, and I don't like it. Except for one room got my washer and dryer is upstairs. I got to do it all over again. I got a house with that shit downstairs.
That thing, I don't know what it's called, but as you know, and it's broke. Okay, so this is my son.
Hold on, they got the slide and lock shit on the goddamn electrical blocks. I ain't know that's suspect. I ain't never seen no shit like that.
Room, and as you can see, we got gold with a brown door. Okay, remember that. The yellow walls again. This is his room with the toys. He has a heater in his room that's controlled by that. It's not on because he don't sleep in here. As you can see, there go his bed. He's not in here. Yellow walls in the blinds, and then we have his closet, and the doors don't work. So I pushed them all against there, and he just has an open closet. Yeah. And also, none of the rooms have light fixtures, so we all have to have a lamp that's attached to.
And that's how my shit. I think that's some South shit.
Also, we have a hallway closet, which is dirty. Don't worry about that. But more specifically, the door handles are different.
Hey, I probably do the ceiling fan. I mean, they could go in the attic and add that shit.
Either way it go, both of them don't really work. You got to pick them up to move.
This is the projects, bro. She's living there for free or like $40 a fucking month, and she complaining about it, bro. And she complaining about blinds and shit like she can't go buy new blinds on her own, bro.
And yeah, it's just sheets and stuff in there. Don't worry about that. Okay, and this is the restroom, and as you can see, it's a brown door again with rusted fixtures. I don't think they were gold at all. But anyway, this door is really flimsy. Like
every other project. Like every other project is like that, bro. Like, she tripping because on some real shit, you living in the projects. The projects, them motherfuckers don't invest money into the project. Not no crazy shit. And then it'll be somebody that's working hard paying $1,500 for that same apartment. You get $40.
It's also a heater in each restroom. You got to turn them on. And this, it came broke.
Fix it.
See, we don't mess with that. This one also came broke.
That's how it is.
We just keep the door open. Mm-hmm. This is his sink.
Look how fucking big she is.
Yes,
look how fucking big she is. These people be fucking living good, eating good, bro. Yeah, she do need to get her bread up and moved out. But if this the project, I mean, they got nice counters in. But look how fucking fat she is. Take some of that fucking money and go get you a goddamn curtain and shit and stop complaining.
It's dirty.
What she said is dirty?
Yeah. It came broke. As you can see,
I had to bring it
mess
back.
with that. This one also came broke. We don't mess with that either. We just keep the door
It
open.
ain't broke. That it slides on.
This is his sink area, and that's me. Hey, yes, it's dirty.
Oh, shit that she in control of.
Yeah. Two things I upgraded up in here was y'all know it didn't come with this, but the toilet seat. I had put on us a toilet seat because the one they had on here was wooden, and it wasn't good at all. Okay, it was.
You should have changed the toilet seat. Anything you don't want to put.
And I also replaced the head.
You nasty motherfucker! You should have changed the toilet seat. Anyway, you don't know who sat their ass on that shit. And oh, you bought a fucking shower head. It's your apartment. Buy a shower head. Change the shower head. Like this, the entitlement shit that they talking about.
Of the shower, because the shower head that was on there only sprayed out of 2 holes. And we need more than that. We need more than that. So anyway, this is the...
I'm in the Navy. I don't went on deployment. My last deployment, we had to bring our own shower heads with us. And I'm not even exaggerating. Shit was so fucked up. We had to bring our own shower heads with us. And when I was stationed on the ship, we had decent shower. We chipped in and bought our own shower heads that we could have the damn... you could take off and have the spray hole. We chipped in as a group for us that lived in that section, which was only like, I think all together we might have put in $5 a piece out of the 13 of us to get a crazy shower head that give us 2 of them to give us the experience. But she bugging out. You living free. You obviously eating good. You fat as shit. Go buy you curtains, go get you a shower head. I don't feel sorry for you, sympathy for you.
Hallway closet. I just wanted to show you the shower head because as you can see, it's paint in one of the holes, and that's why that one wasn't working. I don't know about the other ones, but as you
That ain't even no cheap shower hole. That shit probably came from what you call it. The previous tenants probably fucking put some shit in it. Or when they was trying to clean it up for her to move in.
As you can see, they just paint over everything. And this is the entrance to my room. As you can see, the door is white. All the other doors are brown, but my door is white. With whatever that is on, it came like this. I tried to scrub it, it don't come off. So let's enter. This is a lived-in room, so just know I didn't clean it up for y'all. This is random. This is how my room look. And my bed is on the floor because my bed had broke because my son and my niece jumped on it like some dummies. And yeah, so I kept the headboard, but I'm going to throw that away too because, I got a mattress on the floor. And if you can't tell, these are my light switches, and one is higher than
and clean that fucking room.
I don't know what that's about. And also, we don't have a light fixture. Yeah, you have to buy a lamp. You have to. Okay, moving on. We got the heater.
Hold up. Wait a minute. I seen something in the corner.
One is higher than the other. I don't know what that's about. And
wait,
the headboard, but I'm going to throw that away too.
I don't know if you see what I see in the background. I'm about to point out something in a second.
I got a mattress on the floor.
Her nasty ass.
And if you can't tell, these are my light switches, and one is higher than the other. I don't know what that's about.
She got, like, you can't see her. I stopped it. It's kind of blurred. But she doing all that complaining. And I see like a Mac Pro or some shit in the background. So she's spending her money on what she want and not what she need. You dig what I mean? She's spending her money on what she want and not what she need. Because I see it like a Mac. It look like an iMac or some shit.
And also, we don't have a light fixture.
She complaining about a lamp, but got like a lamp. I knew I wasn't tripping. You see that shit? Right here. You see it? Y'all can see my damn thing. She tripping about all this shit, but she got a goddamn iMac back there. So she taking her money to buy what she want and begging for what she need, you know? So that's the craziness. That's ludicrous that she's sitting there doing all this complaining about a goddamn lamp. She could go to Walmart and buy a goddamn $10 lamp like I did, you know? She could buy a $10 lamp. I think I pay like, you know, I like the finer things. I might have paid $15. Probably $20. I don't know how much this shit costs. Like I said, that type of shit, I don't waste my time even thinking about it. I leave that for the people in the house that like interior to design shit, you know? Like, you know, let it have a woman's touch. You know? I go to the electronics section when we go to the store. I just wanted to point that out. She got a goddamn iMac in the background. She got a nice TV, but she crying about buying a lamp. And she need to clean this shit the fuck up.
You have to. Okay, moving on. We got the heater on the floor again, and the AC unit right above it that's covered because that cold air comes through it. Also, we have the yellow walls again. And each room comes with one of these besides the bathroom.
It's called the thermostat, but let's
go to that. So this is my closet. It's just
somebody poor. I see open. a lot of sneakers and shit. Bar. She complaining, but I see a lot of sneakers and shit. I see a lot of shit that says she don't need to be living in the project. She could go get a fucking apartment and pay out. She don't need Section 8.
With the thing that your shoes sit on. It's a mess, but it's in here. My stuff is in here.
It ain't no butt, bitch. Clean it up.
Let's go to my bathroom.
That shit look dirty,
this is my bathroom. I have a brown door, with the gold fixtures, This is my toilet, and as you can see, I have bought me a new toilet seat because they gave me an old one, and it is a huge crack in it, and they never came and replaced it, so it's still on the toilet because I don't know how to put that one on there. I really haven't even tried to, but yeah.
See, like I said, she ain't even tried, but if you had a man, he could fucking unscrew the 2 screws. It's 2 screws. Unscrew it. Screw it back on. As simple as day.
So we have a half bathroom. and it's not a lot of space.
It's the projects, man. What made you think you was gonna get a 4-bedroom house in the projects?
And that's the correct.
Change that goddamn seat, girl. Change that seat, man. Change the seat. Change the seat.
These are wooden toilet seats, and that's the crack. And that's why.
You know how big your ass had to be that you sat on a chair on a toilet seat and you cracked that shit? Lord have mercy.
I bought plastic to put on there. The other toilet seat from the other restroom is in that hallway closet. So I need to get this off. The maintenance man came and did the other one for me, but I need him to come do this one too. And as y'all can see, it's a heater in this restroom too for the restroom, but I don't turn it on. So it just sits there. Yeah. I forgot to show y'all these things. This the thing that you turn on when you wanna, I guess, suck the air out of here or something. It's really dusty. Yeah, both restrooms have it. Think about like the ceiling. It has a whole bunch of lumps and bumps. You could tell it had water damage. Look, see, it's a lump right there above my bed. That's a big old lump, but I hope nothing happens with that. But yeah, it's a whole bunch of those all around. Yeah. But I also wanted to show you that the floor is really nice, and this doesn't work. It's just there for decoration. But yeah, the floor is really nice. The painting is terrible, and it's dents in the wall, you know, and marks on the wall because my son touched it or something, or the neighbor touched it. Anyway, yeah, so, and since the hallway light over there is broke, I have to put it in the middle to turn it off. Yeah, that's fun. Last thing, I just wanted to show y'all how I decorated my bookshelves. I thought it was really cute. That's some Christmas decorations. I don't have nowhere to put it. But anyway, yeah, it's just going to sit there until I figure out something. But yeah, do y'all like that? That's cute, right? Thanks for watching. Let's do a living in the projects home tour. I'm going to show y'all my house. So first things first, you know you live in the projects when you don't have a deadbolt lock. I only got one lock because if they want to get in, they can get in. So I got this stick and I got this alarm thing. So I turn it on, and if anybody open this door, it's going to go beep, 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 beep. So yeah, this is my door, and as you can see, it's green, and as you can see, the walls are yellow. Next, this is my coat closet. The door doesn't work, so I have to pick it up to open it, but I'm not going to do that because ain't no coats in there. It's storage. This is my kitchen. This is my stove, and as you can see, this is our fire extinguisher. Yeah. My water heater is in the kitchen. And no, I don't have a dishwasher. I have to wash these by hand. This is my
I got a view
dining
on
room. And this is my living room. I have a wall AC unit. I cover it because the cold air from outside comes in through it. And it's already 12 degrees outside. This is my heater. And it burns the blinds. And also, as you can see, when I moved in, they gave me blinds with tape on it.
I could get Uber Eats. You can't.
You can't even tell which one broke. This one.
And then you better figure something out, man. I'm watching people on here making it happen.
It's a whole gap, as you can see.
Teenage,
it's right there.
Having a teenager
because they haven't gave me
is
new
not
blinds.
for the
they
weak.
Just
See,
gave
she
me the
in
old
here
blinds
talking
from the
crap
first
right
person.
now.
This is how I've decorated my living room.
Oh, this shit don't want.
And it doesn't come with extinguisher.
Some of them said, "Did you see the place before you signed the lease but moved in?" When she was complaining, you know. Somebody else said, "Do a video on things you appreciate about this nice place you live in. Seriously, please." There's extra blinds at the top. Some of these comments saying that I don't think that you was giving ungrateful. I do. I think she was giving ungrateful. Because I feel like it don't look bad at all. Shit, my first apartment, I mean, don't look too much better. I mean, it was better, but it ain't look too much better. I ain't even have as many rooms and shit. I mean, by central air was like different and shit, but that's just where it's at. But you're in the projects. You're not in like a regular apartment. You're literally living for dirt cheap or for free. Yeah. that's it. I got work in the morning because, some of us got a job to get to. A legit job. I'm not saying that YouTube ain't legit. I appreciate YouTube. I just got my regular gig to get to. I appreciate everybody that tuned in. Shout outs to Rubik Cube. Shout out. Let me see who my top fans was tonight so I can shout y'all out. Ozzy, my guy. Number 1, number 2, Soul Sounds. You don't count, so I ain't gonna count you, man. You the homie. You part of the tribe. You part of the team. This is your channel too. Rose, Thomas, Dusty Montgomery. I like that. Dusty Montgomery sound tough. Rebuke and reprove in Jesus. Okay. Pat Jarga and John Roberts are the top 8. Let's go over the No Glory True Story, which I'm about to start, go get back to pumping out the true crime on there and shit, Go check out my true crime stories on that. Let's see who the top fans over here. James Bones, Read the Fantasy, Dan Fries, Joe Reese, Shark, Chucky, None of Yo B, Aggie 1024, and Pillows 060. Shout outs to you. But I appreciate all y'all that tuned in. Subscribe to No Glory True Stories. Subscribe to 170 Mo. Subscribe to Uncle Moe TV. Until next time. Peace.